Okay, that sounds better.
Woo! I'm so fucking grateful for my exes.
Isn't that a bop though?
Girl,
Isn't
it's a
that a bop?
bop. It's a bop. Let me tell you. And this is a new album. Cause I got
She
on.
said so.
No, I got on YouTube Music and I looked at her at the last album that came out and I looked at the track list. I'm like, this song is not on here. So I did a little research into Miss Wikipedia, honey.
Okay.
And apparently Ariana is getting ready to release a whole nother album before the end of the year. I said, okay.
Oh, and her album just came out August?
Months ago, right? That's low key sickening.
Okay.
The girls don't really do that in pop and stuff, so that's low key sickening.
I was hoping that was the case.
Cause you ready for another one? Because the first one was
I liked the first one. I mean, it wasn't great. It was just a 5.5 out of 10.
I think she used every possible single she had. And I'm
definitely.
She only had 3 singles. I'm gonna leave it at that. That means that the rest of the album was a little bit of a dud, sis.
So she needs something to last throughout the tour that's going to start in March.
And so this new album is going to be
it. The sweetener already fell flat, I guess.
But yeah, I'm so fucking grateful. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, Ariana got a new song out. It's called Thank You Next, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's y'all. It's a bop. It's a bop. I would put it in the background a little bit if I ain't think this motherfucking Spotify was going. Wait, did you say your ex?
Yes, my ex sent me the song, and I said, "Don't thank me for shit."
What was he trying to say? Like, what was so? Did you make him better? Is that what?
No, we always send each other music, good songs. He was just sending me.
Okay, because I don't know that. That's one song that you don't be sending me that shit because you gonna have me thinking is this shade? What's the tea? Don't be sending me that. But
I have to clock him just in case.
I'm not gonna play with you. But yeah, she performed on Ellen. She performed it. It was a good performance, I thought. What you thought?
I love the performance. It was good. I loved how when she did fall, she started laughing at her own self, and
that was cute. That was really cute.
It was nice to see, and actually see somebody singing live.
that is well. That is well.
Because I do prefer if you scream or do anything like that your mic actually be on, Brittany. Because they done caught her too many times, and her mic.
I mean, it's not even really being caught anymore.
I don't even know if it's
a lifestyle.
It's even attached to a power outlet.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
A power source.
So yeah, let's not act like we ain't been gone a long time. We have. Bitch, we've been gone a minute.
I have.
Girl, yeah, especially you. You're right. You have. That's right, because you the reason we ain't been here. But,
it didn't feel like it, but I guess it does.
Baby, Nicki Minaj and Cardi done called a truce since we've been gone, bitch. That's how long it's been.
Have they though?
We gonna get there. Did you want to tell the girls anything about your trip and things? Because you have been gone, honey.
Yeah, so I went to Thailand. I went to...
Fancy, honey.
We had a layover in Taiwan as well, but I didn't actually leave the airport, so I don't really count.
Did you look out the window, though, girl? Did you look out the window?
Well, when the plane was landed, I saw the plane, saw the landscape of the island. Mm-hmm. I guess it's an island. It seemed small. It seemed like an island to me. But anyway, Thailand was beautiful. We stayed in Bangkok. You know what? I had never been to a 5-star hotel before, and one of the reasons that I knew I was at a 5-star hotel is because I felt like, you know how on Real Housewives of Atlanta, when they go to those nice hotels and stuff, they greet them with champagne and stuff like that. They do. Like they come somebody. And greet you. They come. You don't even have to. They don't even want you looking at your bags. Don't even look at your bags.
Right.
That's exactly how it was. Like they were standing outside
waiting, honey.
Cold champagne. I couldn't partake because I was with my family, but. I did come back later.
You couldn't partake because you was with your family. You said you came back out and got some.
Yeah, I went back down and got some. But
I knew you was gonna find a way, honey. I knew you was gonna find a way.
Yeah, so they had.
Speaking of housewives, I'm sitting here with my wine right now, honey, with some grapes in it, honey. Okay. I'm feeling like Cynthia, bitch. Did you see her with them grapes and wine on the the new episode?
Doing that for special occasions. I when she was doing that, I was like, I do not believe.
Yeah, you ain't walking around this house on no daily basis with no grapes in your damn glass, sis.
But it did look cute though. It did.
Girl, and that's why I'm here with it today. That's why I'm here with it, honey, because it's giving me a feel. Now, what you were saying now?
So yeah, we arrived at the hotel. The hotel was probably my favorite thing about the trip because the hotel was just fabulous. It was I couldn't even
Gone with the wind, honey.
like it was a situation where they had mixed up one of the rooms, and so the next day, not even the next day, we had left and went out, and we came back that night, and they had room service or their chef make a custom dessert that said I'm sorry, and they had wrote a handwritten card to us that said Mr. and it was. And mind
you said your name. You said your name.
Oh, I did.
I'm gonna have to cut that. That's all right. I got you.
Bleep. But what shocked me the most is their handwriting in English was better than mine. Like their cursive hair. It was like I almost took a picture of it. I think I did take a picture of it because it was literally like textbook, like beautiful strokes. It was.
Girl,
I was impressed.
It's 5 stars. This sound. They might have flew somebody in just to write that damn note for you, sis. I'm just.
But yeah. So it was great.
I should have packed myself up in your luggage and slid my ass on out there. Yes, God.
We did ride the elephants, and the whole thing about the elephants.
I saw that. I saw you post that. That looks so cool.
The seats that we were sitting on when they have like the little it's like raised off of the elephant's back. That's actually you're not supposed to be riding on those. Those are actually harmful for the elephants. But I didn't book nor did I plan.
Why they lie? Why they lie on TV?
What you mean?
When you say that's harmful for the elephants.
They do that
all the time on TV.
They do that. They do that all the time because it looks better than riding bare on the elephant's back, but it's actually very harmful. And over time, it can cause the elephant to break their back and things like that. Or it's a lot. It's a whole big thing about. It's a whole big movement about how you're not supposed to treat elephants like that anymore. Even though that's how probably historically since we've been riding elephants for entertainment.
Because that's what it is. Right.
But I didn't plan the trip, and I didn't even know what was going on until we got there. But the elephant ride was fun. It was very cute. We did get to see a live tiger. I didn't go pet it. My family's not that crazy. We didn't.
So y'all didn't just get to go see that bitch. Y'all got to go really see her, like see her.
Yes,
honey. Y'all could touch her. No, ma'am. I'm with you on that. I would have had to decline.
We went on the floating market where you ride the boat and you shop from the boat. And this is like outside once you leave outside of Bangkok because Bangkok is just like a big city.
Did you post that as well? I feel like I saw some boats and stuff.
Yes, I did. I didn't post me shopping on the boat, but I did post pictures and all the people with the food and stuff on the boat.
Okay.
It was a great trip. I'm definitely looking to go back. It was great. It was more than what I expected it to be and everything.
Yes, bitch.
I would have hoped for. So.
Yes, God. Well, I'm glad it was worth the child. I'm so glad.
One thing I did want to mention is that I love how, and even when I went to Taiwan or when I went to Thailand, they are more. When you go to international airports, as it seems, they are more designed for tourists and non-Thailand or non-Taiwanese people to be able to go to their airport, get around without speaking any ounce of their language. Because nobody in my family speaks Thai. We didn't even prep to go over there. We didn't even learn hello when we got over there.
We niggas. Right. We speak nigga.
So when you go to, for example, LAX airport, every single sign is in English. It's only in English. And that was weird when I came back because when I went over there, they had the sign in Thai, they had it in Mandarin, they had it in Arabic, they had it in English. Like they would say the same thing in 6 different languages. So no matter what, pretty much any common language that you speak, you can get around the airport and not even have to ask anybody for anything.
Wow.
And I felt like I just feel like there has as far as America is concerned, it kind of speaks to the way that we view people from other countries. They don't. We're not very hospitable. I don't think.
We certainly aren't.
Especially under this presidency, but even historically. Girl. But so that was a whole big thing.
We ain't shit. To be honest, we really ain't shit. I mean, that's just is what it is.
And if you are lost, people from that country
are very helpful.
Yeah, they'll say, okay, they clearly see that we are not from here. Oh,
but I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I've never been on an extended trip to any singular location, but on the cruises that I've been on, when I've been, in other countries and ended up finding myself a little lost, they have been very willing to help. Like I kind of feel like I sort of kind of experienced what you're talking about as far as how they view us and how they're like so willing to just help us out and be hospitable versus how I would imagine a Jamaican person coming over here or whatever, and or somebody from Taiwan coming over here and like looking for directions and people looking at you crazy like you're trying to come up to them and steal something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So I definitely understand what you're saying. That's unfortunate, and it's just I don't know. I just feel like sometimes even being American is almost like there's a narcissistic element to just all of us over here. Like I just feel like it is because we feel like our history is world history, our reality is world reality. It's just it's crazy.
And when you leave America, it's literally like a whole new world.
It's another planet. Right. That's how it feels.
And it is kind of weird to go over there and then they do listen to like American music and songs and then
laugh at us and things.
Yeah, and then they watch American TV shows and stuff like that. So that was different. But we don't watch anything, or we don't really partake in much entertainment that isn't American entertainment.
Quick question: could you see yourself like living somewhere else, like outside of the United States? Is that something that you would be willing to do?
To answer your question, yes, it would. I would love to live somewhere else.
I think I would too, especially when I think about how, we both have a very big appreciation for music, and I don't think that we just, we keep up with the current shit and try to, know about all of that, but we really both, I think, enjoy music that's a little dated.
Right.
I think you enjoy music that's more dated than me.
Right.
But we both enjoy dated music, and like in other places, it's like the way that popularity is set up and the way that they rank their artists and things. It's not as superficial as I feel like it is over here. Right. Mm-hmm. Like we just require so much of these people when we can't do half of what they do. It's
yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because another thing that I noticed is that people who are necessarily American artists, but they're not even big in America, may be big somewhere else.
Like Kelly Rowland. Mm-hmm.
Right. Kelly Rowland is an example. It was a couple of those little young or little pills, little Xanax, whatever it was. I don't even know the boy's name, but I've seen him before. I've seen him before in the United States a couple of times. I don't even know his name. He's not even one of the bigger ones over here. But over there, his sign and his posters were everywhere. He was in all types of commercials. Like clearly everybody knew who he was over there. And I was like, I can't even mention this boy's name. And then like he's not even that. He's not even probably like a C-list rapper
over here
in the States, and he's an American. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it was weird to see. And it had a couple of different people. I can't even remember. It was somebody I wanted to take note of that was not even that big in the United States, but they'll be like huge in other
places. Yeah, and I like that though, and I really, because I feel like the people that I listen to on a daily basis are not that A-list crowd. They're not the people that are being posted about all the time. Ain't nobody talking about Jill Scott. Ain't nobody talking about Tamia. Ain't nobody talking about India Ari. Like they not talking about them people.
None of those girls.
Right, but those are the people that I listen to on a daily basis, and I feel like if I was somewhere else, I could like socially enjoy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those artists, and not just have to be in my home talking about taking a long walk. So, I mean, I'm just saying. All right, so, girl, well, that sounds amazing. You got me wanting to go now, honey. I think I might have to pack me.
Plan a trip.
Yes, we should. Because, see, you already have been out there, so you can help us this out. So, we definitely going to have to plan us one.
Yes.
Did you have anything else you wanted to say pre-wise?
Not that well, I could just mention the EMAs briefly. I'm sure you didn't watch it.
Come on now. I have not seen it. You know, I don't know what to click on. I have to find how to.
Did you see the clips I posted of Janet, at least?
I did. Okay. I had to pay attention to that, surely.
Dude, that's the only reason to watch. Camilla Cabello, she won. I mean, that's only, I honestly, I would not have tuned in had it not been. I did it for Janet getting the Global Icon Award, but
I understand.
She performed. The only thing that was interesting, not the only thing that was interesting, but one interesting thing they did is she performed like she was like a current artist.
Okay, what that mean?
You know how normally, like, if you get like a global icon or any type of achievement, lifetime achievement award, which is the word I couldn't remember on the last episode, lifetime achievement award. You typically get the lifetime. They have the ceremony. You come out or they have the little video montage. you come out perform, then you accept your award or some variation of that. It's like a big moment in the show. Mm-hmm. That's not what they did. Janet's performance was completely separate from her video montage and her acceptance speech. So when she performed, they just had her in the lineup at a random place like she was any current artist performing at the EMAs. Like it wasn't anything special. They said, okay. And next, Janet Jackson. And then she cut to Janet. Like it wasn't...
How do you feel about that?
I just felt it was different. I liked it in the sense that she was performing new material in the sense that made from now, but I mean, I just feel like it was different. I was like, okay, like this is not like what it kind of signified to me is that it's almost as if the global icon winner does not have to perform, but they just allowed Janet to also perform, which
she probably wanted
separate. Yeah, separate from. Because I have to go back and actually look. It made me want to go back and see if the previous Global Icon winners even performed at the award shows. Because the way that they did it, it was just like she was just performing because she had music out right now, and then she also happened to get that award that night. Like it was just a regular award. I mean, it wasn't a regular award, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. That is different. That does, because normally, like, if somebody's getting an award, lifetime achievement, like they got a montage video and all, like they got all this.
They had the montage, they before they introduced her to actually accept the award, but I'm talking about just strictly her performance. They didn't even make it special or anything. They was just like, okay. Camille.
Here come Janet.
Okay, Janet. Okay, next person. It was just
gotcha. It wasn't like I got you.
Yeah. But on the performance itself, I thought the performance was okay. Janet was not as sharp as she typically is, especially on.
Why do you think that?
Because she was ahead of the beat. She was like a half count ahead of the beat on All For You. On Made For Now and Rhythm Nation, she killed it, but All For You specifically, the breakdown portion of that song, I've never not seen her nail that. And she was a half a count ahead of the dancers. Now, if you're going to be a half a count ahead or behind, I would prefer you to be ahead. But to me, it was just like, okay, this is not.
Do you think it's because it is what it is, like it's the European version of?
No.
Or, what do you think it was? Because, Janet doesn't give me the type of person that's just gonna go out there on stage and just.
I'm concerned that the
age is a factor.
Yeah, I'm certain. Yeah, that it's slowly becoming more and more of a factor because even her performances, she doesn't dance as much as she used to. Mm-hmm. But she on the big songs on If, Rhythm Nation, All For You, she have like 10 big songs that she always brings out. Vintage Janet for. Like she brings out the full choreography. She never misses a beat. She shows me that she still has it. And she may just reserve it for those bigger songs. But now that she's starting I ain't never seen her mess up on one of these, on none of her number one hits. And so now it's like, okay, now I just have to see some more performances to see where we are. But at the end of the day, she's reminding me of where Tina Turner was at this age. Because I actually went back and watched some Tina Turner videos. And Tina, eventually, Sheena performed this since she was like 68, I believe, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she got a little bit slower, but it was not, she was still doing better than the girl because she was so far ahead of the rest of the field.
Right.
But I just feel like this is the beginning of just a gradual, slightly slow or slightly off progression into her older years. Which is fine because, she is aging gracefully.
Right, she's been in the game 40 years. So. She's a legend. She's had so many albums. She's broken so many records. Like, it's like, I feel the same way about Mariah. Like, I don't need for those girls to still be 70 and on stage just slaying like they 20. Right, I don't need that because they, like you said, they were so far ahead. Like, by the time the fucking 90s was over, Mariah was already number one. It's right. Like,
and you look at it. You look at Janet's performance. Janet is 52 years old, and she's performing. They slated her right next to these 20-something-year-old girls, and then she was still one of the best performances, if not the best of the night. So
right,
still,
like if you still can't clock me. Like it's like I might not be doing. The only person that can clock me is my old self. That's it, bitch. You can't do it. Right. You can't get me. No, ma'am. So yeah, I it is what it is. She's still a legend. She's still great. I still see her ass live. And it is because she showed out. We enjoyed the fuck out of that concert. That was one of the best of the year, and we did a lot of concerts that year. So
we did. What else? Do you have anything else?
Not for pre, I don't think.
Okay. Well, I guess we can start the episode then.
Yes. So thank you guys so much. I just want to say, because I know we don't have the numbers, I'm going to be working harder on that to try to make it more accurate. And we got to really figure this out, because I'm like, bitch, we really shouldn't be having to pay for 2 platforms. That's just
right. I do have one shout out that I want to do. Somebody asked me to they comment on my personal Instagram. I think I commented under one of their posts, and then they messaged me back and asked me to shout them out. And I said, of course, but we hadn't been recording. That was like 3 weeks ago. We hadn't recorded.
I hope whoever you are, you're here. You're hearing this.
Let me see. Where is it? Okay, I had it right here. Hold on. Give me one more second. I want to shout out Malwares with a Z underscore.
Oh, girl, that sounds like spam. Malware. Did you say malware?
Yes, Malwares. I
Sis, you tried it. Sis, that sounds like a virus, sis. Girl, we're going to need a new name.
She asked me to shout out Memphis, Tennessee on the podcast. So shout out to Tennessee.
Come on, Memphis, Tennessee, bitch. I don't think
and her name is Mallory Nicole.
I think we were actually disappointed by Tennessee in the elections, though. So I don't... Let me dial that shout out down just a little bit, just a notch or two. But hey,
as long
sis,
as
how
she
you
did
doing?
her part. As long as she did her
girl.
part.
How you doing, virus? How you doing?
Stop.
All right, so y'all know what this is. This is Backseat Drivers. I am Tiger Tanzi.
And I'm Wise Gecko.
Welcome.
And welcome to Backseat Drivers.
Yes, God.
All right, give me 1 second.
You need a break?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm about to break too. See you bitches in a minute. Give us a sec.
I'll take y'all back to the old school. How far back? How about the 7? Do it again. Do it again. What? Let's do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Let's do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Let's do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Okay, so I'm going to start us off. I'm gonna do one little quick one here, and then we'll flip flop. How about that? Is that fine? Okay,
that's fine.
Let's talk about Kanye West, honey. He said he distancing himself from politics. Did you hear about this?
No, I think I muted Kanye West on my.
That's understandable. Wise decision, sis. But let me go ahead and tell you what happened. So he got on Twitter. This was actually, I want to say this was last week or like maybe the day before Halloween. He said, "My eyes are now wide open and now realize I've been used to spread messages I don't believe in. I am distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative." And I'm like, sis, that's what you should have been doing, because I mean your music has been suffering, sis.
You said you was out of the sunken place before you took your ass to the White House. So I don't.
Well, let me say this. There are multiple little things. And I understand, and I totally agree. This is not the things I'm getting ready to say. Don't take this as I'm getting ready to jump onto the Kanye. I'm a fan again. That's not happening. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is I think that Adidas done came down on that ass, and they done let him know, sis, you affecting these sales, and so we gonna need you to do something, because this is not. You can be as free as you want, but you're gonna be free from this contract in a minute if you don't. That's how I feel. And I saw one article from a sneakerhead. Y'all forgive me because I don't know the way that these shoes and things work. I'm not a sneakerhead, but he was basically saying that if you're trying to get a pair of Yeezys, I don't know if this is every pair of Yeezys or if this is just y'all just bear with me, okay? In the article he said that you have to when the new Yeezys come out, you have to put your name on a waiting list or almost like a competition or a drawing.
A lottery?
Yeah, like a lottery. And you have to put your email on there, and what they'll do is they'll hit you up and tell you, congratulations, you won. You didn't win no shoes, bitch. You won the opportunity to purchase some shoes. Yes. So that's what they have been doing for all of these Yeezy releases. And he said that the whole, since Yeezys have been made, he's been trying to win this little raffle. But it wasn't until this past October, that he actually won a raffle and the opportunity to buy a pair of shoes. And then he said like an hour or two later, he like won another Yeezy raffle. And he said like a day or two after that, he won another Yeezy raffle. So he went from never winning a Yeezy raffle before to now all of a sudden you done won 3. So
right,
to him, in a week span. So to him, that sounds like something
less people in the pool.
Come on now, something ain't clicking.
Cooks in the kitchen.
So, come on now. And he said when he went up to the Adidas place or whatever to get the shoes, the clerk that was at the front desk, him and her struck up a conversation, and they started. And the clerk ended up telling him that she feels like Kanye's political stances are taking a toll on the sales, and that's coming from somebody that work. You know what I'm saying? At the damn place.
Actually see the shoes leaving the store.
See them leaving it and say, okay, it ain't this many shoes. But bitch got more free time. I'm able to get on Instagram a little bit more than I used to. So that's one thing. The other is, I don't know if y'all know who Candace Owens is. She's a black conservative activist. She gets on my nerves. She's like a scratch that you can't scratch. That's what she is. She's like a Tommy Loren. That's what she is in my life. But she's black. Do you know who she is? Even worse, sis. That makes it even worse. You know who she is, though, right? You've heard of her. I know you have. Unfortunately, right. She ended up tangling Kanye up in her web, and you can say slavery was a choice, and I love Trump, and I'm gonna go down here and hug him. But the minute that somebody put your name on some fucking clothes that's ugly as hell, that's when Kanye had an issue, and that's what the fuck happened. Candace has a campaign called Backseat, which is black and exit mixed together. Apparently, the campaign is supposed to be about
exit, they trying to get exit stage left.
Yes, black people exit the Democratic Party stage left. That's what this campaign is about. She's trying to get people. Yes, bitch. That's what this whole campaign is about. She's trying to get people. She's trying to get black people to exit and they to realize that in her words, to realize that the Democratic Party are not serving you properly. Come on over to the Republican side. Now, my thing
know what the Democratic Party is not doing. We damn sure.
They didn't put Trump in office. That's what they didn't do. I'm not saying that they've done everything right. Let me say this about just this little piece, sis. What you saying as far as the Democratic Party has cared more about getting the black vote as opposed to the black issues? That's true, and we are aware of that. And I feel like the way that we're set up now and the way that this incoming generation is, the incoming group of Democrats are, they're not just going to be voting Democrat because they look cute, bitch. Like, you're going to really have to prove to us that you have our best interests at heart. And when you don't, we're going to get that ass together. And that's, and I feel
Democrat.
Like,
who is?
Come on now. I feel like that's what, anytime these celebrities even have faced more backlash today than celebrities have ever faced in the history of celebrityism. You know what I'm saying? So we are holding people accountable is what I'm trying to say. Like, we're not going to let these people promise us the world and don't give us that. So unless you trying to tell me that there's something like you telling me to abandon the Democrats, but you're not giving me a reason to head over to the Republican side.
Right.
For what values are they? What issues that I have are they concerned about that I'm not getting served at over here on the Democratic Party? Like, they're not even running with those issues, period. At least the Democrats are running with it. They at least telling you, oh yeah, we're gonna fix this and fix that. The Republicans ain't even saying that at all, sis. So the whole thing don't make sense to me. But anyway, for this campaign, back to the story.
Before you go, I just have to say this real quick. She wants us to leave. So essentially, she's saying that the Democratic Party is like a hoopty, an old car, but it still gets where you're going, get you where you're going, but it's old. It has a few problems that we are aware of. Yes. But she wants us to start walking. That's what she wants us to give up our hoopty so we can start walking. That's essentially
exactly. Walking under Trump at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to walk. It's another thing to walk with Trump. Like, that's right. Sis, this is not. If you were gonna try to get me to flip flop, this ain't the president to do it on. This ain't the one. Sis, you got to find another one. But so Lord. What had happened was Candace made clothes for this Backseat campaign. She herself made some designs, logos, colors, and things like that. And she took it to Kanye, and according to her, like, Kanye was like, hell no, they look a hot ass mess. Let me make you some fresh shit. So she did an interview, or she did an announcement, let me say, where she said, you know, I have Backseat for the new Backseat campaign. We have T-shirts and we have hats and this and that, and they were designed by my good friend Kanye West. And there was a lot of debate online as to whether or not she had actually said that, because there is another interview out there of her saying that Kanye just introduced her to the designer that made the actual clothing. But she did say that. I have on my phone, I got the video of her literally saying, Kanye designed this. She 100% said this.
That this logo,
yes, sister,
these colors, were created by my dear friend and fellow superhero Kanye West.
After she did that, that upset Kanye, and I don't know if I think it's really because the clothes are ugly. Like, I think he's that vain. I think he's that vain. Like, I think that's what it is. It's not.
You saw them yourself?
Yeah, I did. The hat, the logo, everything is ugly. It's not that I think he has a problem with the idea. You know what I'm saying? I think it's that just that the fact that me, the Yeezy curator, Yeezus himself, you gonna say I made that? No, ma'am.
Right.
It's not. That's ugly. No, ma'am. So he got on Twitter and he said, I introduced, because he went on to put the truth out there, because he saw the same fucking video I saw. He said, I introduced Candace to the person who made the logo, and they didn't want their name on it, so she used mine. I never wanted any association with Backseat, and I have nothing to do with it. So after he said that, Candace came on for it, and I think that second interview that people are thinking was the only one, she went ahead and fixed it and said, you know, he introduced me to the designer, whatever. And she also ended up reaching out to him and apologizing, but by that time, he wasn't really... It was over at that point. He wasn't here for it.
What it sounds like to me is that he wanted to contribute to her movement undercover. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because you still introduced her.
You had an involvement in, and you knew what these shirts were designed and the message behind this. But now you have a problem with her telling people that and now you want to say that that you don't support this movement. No, because if you didn't, Beyonce's not about to go and help her design shirts for a movement that she's not for. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense.
She's not gonna introduce you to nobody if she don't want shit to do with you.
She gonna refer you to hell. That's what she gonna refer you to.
She gonna snatch your career.
So it's to me it sounds like
it's
Kanye.
A lot.
I feel like the shirts were ugly, and
they were.
That's another reason he didn't want it. But he also wanted to promote this campaign or help this campaign or this movement undercover.
He does support, and you're right. He does support Candace, and he has in the past. And that's the thing, is like, that's why people believe it, because Candace and Kanye already had a relationship. He's already publicly backed
supported
Candace
her
before. Yes, he has. So it's like, I don't know, but I know that like days after that, he ended up supporting a Democratic candidate for the mayoral race in Chicago. I think her name is Amara India.
He probably did that to hurt her.
I'm thinking that he did too, and he actually sent her. He ain't just support. He sent her $200,000. So I think that he definitely was doing it to try to offset his initial backing.
I don't try to make sense out of no sense. Kanye West, I can't
either. So we're gonna leave Kanye behind. I actually want to talk about Backseat just a little bit more, because this campaign is just it's just so ridiculous to me. Miss Candace, Miss Owens, you in this campaign, she has a lot more to be concerned about than just losing backing from Kanye. One thing that she has to be concerned about is, sis, you done made a campaign called Backseat, but you ain't check and see if anybody else was occupying that name already, sis.
Okay.
And there is another organization that was already using the name Backseat, and now they're threatening to sue that ass.
Good. I hope
so. I hope they do too. Like, you just stuck the word black and exit together, bitch, and you think you can just run with it.
How is she spelling it?
BLEXIT.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, that's one thing you got to be concerned about outside of Kanye. The other is, the only reason I even know about this is because Backseat was trending last Friday, y'all. And it wasn't trending like just because a lot of people were talking about how ridiculous it was. It was actually trending in support. Like, it was trending like there's a bunch of niggas out here that are just, you know, leaving the Democratic Party in droves. That's what it looked like. So there's a site called The Daily Beast that they saw the same thing I saw on Friday, and they was like, okay, what the fuck is going on with this Brexit shit?
Right.
So they caught 250,000 of the tweets that were going out in support and amplifying this Brexit movement. They captured them, and they looked into them, and they started doing like their own little investigation, and they went back to see, okay, what have you been posting? What have you been talking about? Because like I said, it just looked like there's just so many black...
Out of the blue,
just a bunch of black people just saying, fuck the Democrats, and they just running over there. So of those 250,000 tweets, what they found was 40,000 of those tweets they collected were accounts that had previously been pushing Russian propaganda. And so the way that I made that make sense to me was I thought about, like, y'all done seen them have Instagram pages. They popping up like crazy these days.
Wildfire.
I don't know. It's like they just, like, they are everywhere. Everybody's trying to sell somehow, whatever. And along with that, you also see them verified badges, the people that want you to buy these verified badges. That's popping up all over Instagram, just all over the place. So what this is saying to me is that basically this started off as a page that was selling verified badges, and then this switched to a page that was selling hair.
right.
That's what that sounds like to me. And it comes at really no shock, because before the presidential race, there were Republican trolls out there, people that are not Republican, well, they may as well be, but Russian trolls out there that were targeting the black community with disinformation, trying to, you know, stir up confusion and make people, you know, sway people in one direction or the other. So this has been a trend, really, and any way that they can find to make that happen, they're still out there trying to make that work.
Right.
And I don't feel necessarily like Candace is, you know, colluding or whatever with Russian people to make this happen. I think that they have just saw that her campaign will make what they want to happen also happen. They done found a way. They feel like that campaign is also in line with what they're trying to make happen, and they have just gotten behind it.
Right.
That's how I feel. I don't think it's Trump where you actually done spoke to these people and you done, you know,
Right.
y'all done planned this together. I don't think that it's that. I think that, like, they have just jumped on board. So my whole point in mentioning that is that people have just really got to do their research before you get behind anything or anybody. You've really got to look into stuff, because, like I said, this was just 40,000 of those tweets that they saw that were not real. That doesn't speak to the other percentage.
Right.
So it just
And
makes
people
me
will
wonder.
retweet anything that looks halfway makes sense.
Halfway real.
Like the
yes.
first part about the Democrats not really being here, they probably just saw that and retweeted it.
And
You know
that's
what I'm
it.
saying?
And now you supporting, you ain't even catch the hashtag Lexic or the, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You don't
You
even
out
know
here
what this
continuing.
mean.
Come on now. We really got to be careful about that. So it's really alarming for me. I'm glad that Trump. I'm not Trump. Well, I mean, he may as well be Trump. I'm saying the right word the first time, and then I'm changing it. I was really trying to say Kanye, but then, you know, to say Trump is not too far off.
Right. Same
But,
person.
you know, I don't know. Kanye's gonna have to get on some medicine or whatever. I'm glad Adidas, it seems like, to be the only company or whatever that might have some.
So
control
Adidas
over him.
makes Yeezys.
Adidas makes Yeezys, yes.
Okay,
And
so you taught me something new. I did not know that.
well, girl, look, I didn't know either. What else I saw?
Nor did I care. So
Come on now, because we weren't trying to purchase no Yeezys. One more thing that I saw that also made me think that Adidas has you know, said something, has spoken to Mr. West, is that the CEO of Adidas did an interview. I don't know if it was this week or last week, and they asked him, the publication that did the interview, they asked him squarely, like, are the decline in Yeezy sales, do you think that they're due to the supply? It's just a little bit too high right now versus the demand. And the first thing that came out of the CEO mouth was no. And then he went on to explain why they're making a number of shoes, they're making blah, 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 blah. The next thing they asked was, okay, well, do you think that anything that Kanye is saying right now is affecting the Yeezy sales? And from there, the first thing that came out of his mouth was not no. It was it was like an explanation. It was like, well, we like the fact that the people we work with are free to be who they are and they choose to say this, that, blah, blah, blah. Basically saying, like, we like that he is speaking his mind, but the things that he is saying is not how we necessarily feel.
They liked when he was speaking his mind and it was boosting the sales. Now that he's speaking his mind and it's hurting the sales.
And it's hurting. We working on that. Like y'all trying to bust this grape open before we done with it. We done sent him some legal paperwork and have told him, like, sis, the statistics are pointing downward. Yeah, like you might have to dial that back, donate a couple of dollars. You know, we'll give you an advance because we know you don't have no money. Really, we'll give you that, and you can send $200,000 to this mayor or whatever. Help her out,
Lord.
Because you got to get this. You got to get this public opinion up,
Lord. So is it my turn?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess it's me. So today we have big news. Today, big news.
Very big news.
Today is Wednesday for us. Election day was yesterday, and today Attorney General Jeff Sessions resigned. He wrote a letter to President Trump informing him that he will be tendering his resignation effective immediately. So this has been a long time coming. Let me give you a recap on Jeff Sessions and who Jeff Sessions is.
Please.
Jeff Sessions was appointed Attorney General by Trump after Trump fired, was it Cohen? Am I getting the names right? Comey, you think it's good. You know I'm not good with names.
I know.
Comey. He fired Comey because Comey recused himself in the investigation.
And then Jeff recused himself.
And then he hired Jeff with the specific reason to shut the Mueller investigation down. Shortly after Jeff Sessions was appointed Attorney General, Attorney General, that's right. He recused himself, which then angered Trump because he would have to fire another attorney general, which he'd already. People were already speculating that it was obstruction of justice from him firing Comey.
Yes.
So he couldn't really. So his hands were really tied, and he was advised by his counsel, "You cannot fire Jeff Sessions. This is like this. If they did not have an obstruction of justice charge, they will definitely have one after you fire two attorney generals back to back, just because they did not want to shut down an investigation into you." So it's ever since then. Trump has tweeted numerous times that he wants Jeff Sessions to resign. He has also it's also been stated that he has approached other people or approached Jeff Sessions directly and requested his resignation, but he refused. This has been going on for well over a year now, probably close to a year and a half at this point. So now Jeff Sessions randomly, the day after midterm elections, has decided to go ahead and tender his resignation. Okay.
After Trump hit him up again and say, "This time I'm for real."
Right.
You need to go. You need to go.
Let the date of this, the day after midterm elections, let this not be lost on you.
Come on now.
This is an important day. Not the Republicans, the Democrats have now taken control of the House.
Hey!
This is the first time under Trump's presidency that the Republicans did not have control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. So now they still have control of the Senate. They've actually increased their control of the Senate, and they've done so because Trump campaigned very, very heavily for a lot of the Republican senators. They ran a bunch of racist robocalls against different candidates.
Did you see Oprah was out there talking about them robocalls? Mm-hmm. Girl.
They have also increased their efforts to instill fear in certain demographics that are prone to be fearful of immigrants and different things like that. The amount of effort that they put into getting and maintaining Senate, because they pretty much knew that they was going to lose the House. They pretty much knew that they wouldn't have a fighting chance with the House. But they actually were very effective in mitigating the losses in the Senate. They actually increased their control. They actually have a larger margin. The Democrats actually lost a couple of seats in the Senate, which is fine because the House is the part that we really, really needed. Which is actually going to my next point, which I'm supposed to kick it back to you. So y'all just keep that in mind, and then we'll touch back up on Jeff Sessions a little bit later.
Okay, bitch, you better split that. You better leave the girls with a cliffhanger, honey. I was trying to find, because I ran across a post that was explaining the significance of us having won the House and what can happen with that. Can I find it? Okay, so this is what this says. It says the Democrats win the House. They can subpoena Trump's tax returns, protect the Mueller investigation. This is not something you're talking about later, is it?
I was going to touch on it a little bit, but we can go ahead and do it now. It's fine.
Okay. Protect the Mueller investigation. They can protect Obamacare and pre-existing conditions. They can protect Medicare. Sorry. They can investigate. They can do both of them. It's both of them are the same.
Okay. They can do both.
Okay. They can investigate Trump violations of immunizations and Hatch Act. Hatch Act. What's that, girl? I don't even know what that is, honey. I have to look into that. EMOLUMEN.
Girl, I don't know why I asked you to spell that, because I can't see stuff in my head. I'm sorry.
I'm not one of them girls either. I thought you was magical. I don't know why. We'll look that up later. But anyway, the whole part about subpoenaing them tax returns, protecting Mueller, protecting Obamacare, all of that is important, and we're glad about that, because, like you said, the Mueller investigation is gonna need protection at this point with the way that Trump, what Trump is doing with having made this man resign, and then now who he has put in his place. But like you say, we'll get back there later.
Right, we'll get to all of that and the ramifications of what that means.
Well, we're gonna continue on Trump since we here. Okay, let's talk about Pharrell and Rihanna here for a second. Yes. So Pharrell Williams, this was a little minute ago. Pharrell Williams, his lawyer sent Trump not a tax return. Look at me. He sent him a cease and desist letter.
Trump gonna be sending his tax return. That's what
you better say it. You better say it. Pharrell sent Trump a cease and desist letter last month after his song "Happy" was played at a rally in Illinois. Literally just hours after the killer, Robert Bowers, murdered 11 people at that synagogue in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And in the cease and desist, Pharrell's lawyer said there was nothing happy about the tragedy inflicted upon our country on Saturday, and no permission was granted for you to use this song for that purpose. So, shout out to Pharrell for doing that. That's big. I'm gonna say a little bit more after I talk about Rihanna. So she ended up finding out via Twitter that something similar had happened with her music as well. There's a reporter for the Washington Post called Philip. His name is Philip Rucker. He tweeted and said, "It's been said a million times, but here's 1,000,001. Trump's rallies are unlike anything else in politics. Currently, Rihanna's 'Don't Stop the Music' is blaring, and as aides toss free Trump T-shirts into the crowd like a ball game, everyone's loving it." And Rihanna responded and said, "Not for much longer."
Thank you, sis, for letting me know.
Okay, she said, "Me nor my people would ever be at one of those tragic rallies. So thanks for the heads up." And sis meant really thanks, because literally the next day she had her lawyer draft her up a cease and desist as well, and she sent it on to the White House. She said in it, "It has come to our attention that President Trump has utilized Rihanna's musical compositions and master recordings, including her hit track 'Don't Stop the Music,' in connection with a number of political events held across the United States. As you are or should be aware, Ms. Fenty has not provided her consent to Mr. Trump to use her music. Such use is therefore improper." So let me say how I even feel like they've been doing this. Whenever you play these venues, they play the music at these little public events that they hold and things. They have to have some sort of license. Right. And normally these venues go through some type of music rights agency like BMI or the ASCAP. And to put the ASCAP in your mind, if you saw the last episode of the first episode of the new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, they showed Escape getting an award. They were getting that award from ASCAP. So this is that same agency that these venues be having to go through to get these licenses. Right. So usually what happens is that the arenas that these politicians end up holding their little shindigs at, they typically have like a blanket license that allows the venue to play songs that are in the agency's catalog. So what they're doing is they're using that. They're using that blank license to their benefit.
Advantage.
Yes, and Axl Rose talked about this on Twitter. They said, unfortunately, the Trump campaign is using loopholes in various venue blanket performance licenses, which were not intended for such craven political purposes without the songwriter's consent. And the reason why this is such a big deal and why I'm so happy that Pharrell and Rihanna have both chosen to address this is that, and also Prince's estate also sent Trump a cease and desist as well. Whenever these politicians do this, it is creating a false impression that the artist somehow supports this candidate, and that's the issue with it, because that you don't even think about what the implications of that could be. But whether it's conscious or subconscious, if you are at a rally or some event and you hear a certain artist's music, especially if it's something as big as a presidential rally, and you hear a particular artist's music being played, you think, whether, like I say, subconscious or conscious, you think like, okay, so such and such must support this person.
Right, like they've had a discussion.
They must have had a talk about this, because I know that you're not sitting up here playing this music like it's a fucking concert and you don't have nobody's right. So that is why it's important for them to do this, and that's also why it's important for these artists to own your motherfucking masters, bitch, to be in control of your shit, so that if something like this go down, you actually got to say. Because if Rihanna and Pharrell ain't had their paperwork right, they wouldn't be able to really send no cease and desist and get this shit stopped.
Right, they don't have no rights to these songs.
It ain't yours. Sis, you just own it. You just singing it. It ain't. It ain't. You don't have that.
What?
Yeah, you just Nicki Minaj. But anyway,
you have to stop doing that when I'm drinking.
I'm so sorry, Steve. I want to say something else about Rihanna, but did you have any more?
I do want to mention one other thing about Rihanna. I don't know if it's what you're about to mention next.
I hope it ain't what I'm finna say, but go ahead.
Is it about a tweet that she made?
It's about her responding to somebody on Instagram.
Okay, so go ahead and mention it. I think it's the same thing.
Or maybe this is a tweet. This might be a tweet. I think it's a tweet.
Instagram response tweet, same thing.
Tweet, same thing. Okay, so baby, look, the Avon lady been busy, y'all. We talk about this all the time. Miss Girl been out here making makeup, and it's been doing extremely well. She's been representing all body types, all complexions. She's been doing all the things that none of these other girls have been doing, and she's been winning at it. And now they're all copying her and trying to care about complexion when you never did before. And so she's been busy. Sis used to be known as like a professional reader, sis. I don't know. For a second, I thought Rihanna might have been in the LGBT. Right. I thought she was in the LGBTQ community for a second, because her reads were they were classic. They were, they're notable. I mean, she's even that one. We still don't know if that read she gave Ciara that time, was that real?
That was real. Good luck booking that stage you speak of.
So she was known as a reader, an avid reader, and a clapback queen. But once this got busy and she became an Avon lady, she kind of put those things behind her. But sis has been so busy on social media trying to promote this election and telling the girls to get on here and do what they need to do, that I think she had her phone in her hand a few more seconds than she normally does. And somebody said some shit to her, and she said, okay, I think it's time to pull them skills back out. So she was retweeting something from Sean King, who I want to say is amazing. I love Sean King. He's like a civil rights activist for 2018. I absolutely love him. His whole life is just devoted to, bringing black people up, and that's just amazing. But she retweeted a post from him. Basically, there were 15 states that even on election day you could register and still vote on that day. Mm-hmm. And so she retweeted that, and somebody came in the comments or whatever, and they said, are you even a U.S. citizen? Honest curiosity. Well, bitch, we all know curiosity killed the cat, and now Rihanna's about to kill you. Okay? Rihanna responded and said, nah, I'm an immigrant trying to get your country together. Did you vote? Did you vote? Yes, God, Rihanna. I
loved it.
I absolutely loved it. It was short, cute, to the point, and still read that ass.
Because she had been promoting going to vote.
Yes.
More than people who got the right to vote.
More than anybody. Lord. She had been. And I had actually started trying to take a list up of all of the celebrities that were out here online just promoting, voting, and all of that. But the girl, it became so many. I said, let me abandon this task because
it's too many.
It's just overwhelming, and it was really beautiful to see.
Like the it thing to do.
It did, and I'm hopeful that we can keep. I feel like I know in 2020 at least we'll still have the energy, but there are going to probably be some elections coming up or whatever, little one-offs and things that I just hope to see a lot of people participating. And like I said, I hope that for 2020, what I'm thinking is going to happen, which is that everybody's going to come back together in this way, and we're going to get our ass out there and do this. I hope it's going to be that same energy. I feel like it will because I know we don't want Trump again. I know we don't want Trump again. So I feel like people are going to come out against that ass. But, yeah, that's all I had for Rihanna.
Okay.
I can do another real quick if you know, it's just up to you. I'm just saying.
We can. Before we do that one though, I did want to mention that the girls were trying to read Beyonce because
why?
Because she came out yesterday on election day, like literally midday, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, West Coast time, and was like with her Beto hat, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is the Texas. One of the Texas people who are running in Texas.
For
and
governor,
the girls,
right?
Yeah, and people were saying, Beyonce should have did this a week ago. They basically blaming her for his loss. They were saying Beyonce should have did this weeks ago. She could have really used her influence. What is her posting it on the finally supporting him on the day of the election going to do that? And people had already voted, and if they weren't voted, if they basically hadn't already registered, it was just a whole big thing. People were just really blaming Beyonce as if she had an obligation to support him before, and that if she did support him weeks leading up to the election, he would have won.
I don't agree with that because Stacey Abrams had Obama and Oprah, bitch.
Going
Obama
door to door.
and Oprah, bitch, behind her, and sis did not win. Now, what I will say is that sis came close.
Right.
For Georgia to be as red as it is, sis came close. But Texas is also super fucking red. Beyonce by herself was not going to be able to turn the tides on that.
Right.
It just is what it is.
And what they mentioned is people who would have been influenced by Beyonce's vote would have already been voting for him anyway. Whether she said
because
anything or not.
she has been talking about voting, period, though.
Right. The Democratic, not the Democratic, let me say this: the market demographic. That's what I meant to say. The demographic that she appeals to, well, he already had that in his pocket. So it was not like if Trump came out and supported him or somebody who is on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, flipped over and yeah. I don't know. Now, what I will say is that I do think that when you have a platform. I personally, and this is not written down nowhere, there ain't no law, but personally I feel like you have an obligation to speak about these issues and to use your platform in that way to persuade anybody, because sis, if they out here holding church meetings about you, they out here holding whole Sunday services praising you certainly have, I feel, influence on people, and you have, and with that comes responsibility. I feel personally, like I said, and you have an obligation with that responsibility to make things happen. But Beyonce did that. I feel I'm more than satisfied with what Beyonce has done and how she has been promoting voting, not just with this election, but with past elections too. Before it became the it thing to do, Beyonce has been out here taking stances and taking sides and doing all of that. So I don't think that there's nothing else she could have done. I understand the frustration in
people are just
not being
frustrated.
able to. That's what it is.
That's really what it is.
And I understand frustration. I do. But to try to blaming Beyonce is as silly as those people blaming Ariana Grande for Mac Miller dying. Like that's what I feel. It's silly. You can't make nobody. Beyonce can't. What's she gonna do? Go down there and write whatever Brian Kemp's or whatever the man name was on there. What's she gonna do? What you want her to write the people name on the? You want her to go down there and start changing the votes? You want her to Olivia?
First of all, Beyonce is not even a Texas voter anymore. That's her hometown. I mean, that's her home state. But she don't live in Texas, right? She live in Calabasas and Beverly Hills, somewhere out here. So her even mentioning Texas, I don't think y'all should be grateful, but to me it was just her her being an on the record. This is who I'm supporting. That's all it was. It's not.
So there's no confusion. If it helps, it helps. If it doesn't add a vote, it doesn't. Like I don't know. Sometimes I just gotta ask people, like, before you start coming down on somebody else, even in your own community, with your own social media following, with the people that you know personally and all that, do you even advertise that yourself? Like, are you even posting about the election yourself? Right. Are you even trying to turn anybody you know yourself? Like, what are you doing?
Did you drive somebody to vote? Did you?
Yeah. Was you asking people if they had a way? Like, what are you doing? And then when you start with what you're doing, then tell me what Beyonce should have did.
Right.
Because I think she's doing enough, but that's just me.
What else?
Okay,
you
got? So let me go and do this one real quick. This is tragic. I wanted to go ahead and kind of capture this a little early. Angela Simmons' ex-fiance Sutton Tennyson was found dead last Saturday. Did you hear about this? Mm-hmm. Okay, so at first reports were saying that it appeared to have been a home invasion, but it was not. The ATL police responded to shots fired at Sutton's home, and he was found in the garage of his home dead with multiple gunshots. I hear some of them were like 3 shots was like to the head or whatever. Like whoever did this was like they was trying to murder you.
Right. Like
they wanted your ass dead. They did not want you to get the fuck up. And it's so the police are saying that it started off as him and another man were having a conversation in a driveway. The convo escalated, and then it turned into Sutton being shot fatally. And I feel like for the police to know all of that, they must have had some witnesses to it.
Right.
So I'm hoping that whoever these witnesses are will also help out with identifying who this man is responsible, because you need to be in somebody's jail cell.
Right.
Forever. Because if you're shooting somebody 3 times in the head over a conversation gone wrong.
What could you possibly be talking about?
What possibly are you at somebody else's house talking about that could cause you to shoot them? You came that to me that for you had a gun on you. You came there with the intentions of doing something. That's how I feel.
When you read it, it made it feel like he was walking down the street and then it happened. And then what is the guy's name who got killed? What is his name again?
Sutton Tennyson.
Sutton was in his garage, and then they started some type of verbal altercation that eventually escalated. That's what I got from it. Like they probably didn't even know each other, but I don't know. I'm just telling you. That's my impression.
Maybe they didn't, but from what I heard, let me clean it up a little bit. From what I heard, they were in the driveway talking, and then from the driveway it escalated, and people saw it escalate in the driveway. Now, how it got to the garage, I don't know, but they say that the boy shot him, and some way, somehow they found the body in the garage. So I don't know if this is somebody that he did not know. I just don't know what you could be arguing with somebody, who you could be arguing with, just randomly walking down the street. I don't know. The whole situation don't make sense to me.
A hot mess.
They gonna have to, like I said, this is fresh, so they're gonna have to go ahead and do the investigation. Maybe they'll end up switching it up, coming up with some tea. I actually did hear another story. I did hear somebody say that it was a drive-by. So that just shows you how confused they are. Because I mean, if it's either a drive-by or it's not. Like it's not. It can't be both of these.
You're right.
So what I did want to talk about for a second was Sutton's friend. He has a close friend named Joshua, who is also Reginae Carter, Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae, her ex-boyfriend. So Angela Simmons is Sutton Tennyson's ex, right? They got a child together. And so after this whole situation went down and he, it was found out that he was dead or whatever, she put up a post on Instagram and she said, "Thank you for leaving behind my greatest gift. I'm hurting. I'm numb. Thank you for the outpouring of love, everyone. I can't believe I'm even saying rest in peace, Sutton. I promise to hold SJ down in every way. I promise." So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play what Joshua, who, like I say, is Reginae Carter's ex and a close friend of Sutton, what he had to say about Angela Simmons leaving this little message up here.
Hey, y'all, this shit got to get better. We got to stop hating each other, you feel me? I mean, like, hating on the next nigga, man, and, you feel me, falling out with your nigga about petty shit, man. Y'all need to get this shit together, bro. Real shit. And for the, like, every time somebody die, y'all feel like, oh, let's post her. Why you don't, a nigga alive, you ain't fuck with a nigga? I feel like, shit, don't post and be fake. Like, niggas in situations trying to get money, pay off goddamn lawyers and shit just so they can see their kid. Then you make it like, we was you feel me? Like, I can't, but that fake shit, that Instagram shit, that's that celebrity shit. Going with all that shit, we know what really going on. I had a personal conversation with the man. Hey, bro, I'm doing this shit to see my son. You feel me? So I know what's going on. Don't ask me. I know this shit. You feel me? Man, it's RP to my nigga son though, man.
What do people really want you to say when somebody die? Like, even if you and that person wasn't,
On
if
the
you
best
ended
of
up,
terms.
yeah, like if y'all were in a relationship at one point, y'all had a child together, and it ended, and it maybe didn't end on the best of terms. What do people want you to say if they end up dead? Like, am I supposed to not say nothing? Because I didn't see nothing wrong with what Angela said.
You cheated.
Yeah,
What?
like, go to
What,
hell?
rehash that? No.
Yeah, like, what am I supposed to?
I guess he didn't want her to say nothing.
I guess not, because I didn't
But
see
she would have been
nothing.
dragged for not saying that.
Come on now, you better come with the reality, because had she not responded, then the people online would have said, "Oh, you don't give no fuck about the father of your child."
She might have been in questioning for murder.
Right, come on now. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I did hear that out there. I ain't gonna lie. Some people online have been saying that this sound like foul play. I don't believe that either. That's a stretch. And then the girls talking about something because it's around.
Children. We've been watching them since they was
Come on now, we saw them grow up. The girl said because it happened around Halloween, it sounds like there's some type of demonic nature. I'm like, come on, girls, get over it. Come on, y'all tried it. Y'all really Halloween, really.
To me, there are people that I think everybody has people in their life that they may not be on the best of terms with. They may have had differences. They may not even be speaking, but if they were to pass, their life would be, you would feel different. You would not feel differently, but you would be able to reconcile or be able to move on and still have good, fond memories and thoughts and have, respect for their loss. So it's not.
Yes. And on top of that, it is still the father of your child.
Right.
And the thing about it is, people are talking about, they were in the middle of a custody battle and this and that. Let me give a little tea here, because I think that a lot of people that are commenting are not familiar with Angela's relationship with Sutton and why it took the turn that it took. Back in December of last year, Angela filed for a order of protection against Sutton. Okay, and she claimed domestic abuse, that he had been abusing her. So if that is truly what she experienced, and at that time she ended up being granted temporary custody of the child. Yes. So if that is what she had been experiencing from this man, I can understand her being in a custody battle. I can understand that. Like, if this is what this man did to you, if he really did something, like, I just feel like a lot of people are out there basically just commenting and not knowing anything, the details of their relationship. The only person I'm okay with Joshua was saying what he said, because all he's going off of is what Sutton told him.
Right.
He knows himself that Sutton was in the middle of a custody battle. Sutton is not a celebrity. He's not on a celebrity's income, and he was having to hire a lawyer that would be good enough to go against somebody that, a Simmons. Yeah, a Simmons could afford. Like, he would have to go against somebody that they could get. So that is what you coming from the perspective of your homeboy, and I totally understand that. But for the random motherfuckers out here that are trying to say that Angela is this horrible person now, you just don't have all the details of their relationship.
I totally understand. Because at the end of the day, they had differences, and her differences with him are seemingly legitimate. And at the end of the day, his passing does not undo those differences, but it also does not make her unqualified. Exactly, unqualified to mourn his loss as well.
Yeah.
Mourn the loss of his life. It's almost like they said, "Oh, you can't mourn him because y'all was beefing." What?
As the child's father, so I don't.
People are dumb. People are just dumb.
They are. In a world where people blame Ari, I gotta bring this up again because it's just so silly. In a world where people blame Ariana for Mac Miller's death, you right. I don't know what I was expecting.
Right. It wasn't even suicide. It was just an overdose, wasn't it?
Yeah, and an overdose from somebody who was on drugs prior to getting with Ariana. That's the biggest. It ain't like he got on drugs after he was with Ariana.
Right.
Y'all trying to connect it. This motherfucker already had a history of drug abuse before he got with this girl. And I'm not saying it ain't tragic. I feel like every death is tragic, but
and she's not responsible for his mental health and or sobriety.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Okay, so let me pass the mic on back.
Okay, so y'all remember Jeff Sessions?
We do.
We just talked about how his resignation was today.
Quick point.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't Jeff Sessions the one that Rosa Parks wrote a letter about and said he don't need to be in Congress no way, no how, because he ain't shit?
I'm not sure on that because I'm not.
Or was it James
names.
Comey? Let me look.
It was one of them. I'm not good with names, so you look that up and I'll tell the girls what the significance of this means today.
I sure will.
So now that now that the Democrats have won over the House, Tiger touched on it briefly. They now have certain powers to do certain things and check, if you will, the president and the executive branch in a certain way. The Republicans had that same power that they just were not going to do. Let me just put that there. So the Republicans had the power to check him and do certain things, but they had no intentions or desire to do so because he was serving their agenda for the most part. So now that the Democrats are in the House, they have certain powers that the Republicans also have, but they also have the means and the motives and the intentions to check the president. So among those powers, Maxine Waters, being one of the high-ranking members of Congress, is now going to be the financial secretary or something. I mean, if you give me a minute, I can get the exact title as to what she will be. She will be the chairman of the Finance Committee. And with that particular position, Maxine Waters can now subpoena the president's tax returns and personal bank records. So she can now subpoena that, and he will have to surrender that information over to them now that she's in that position. Also, as Tiger mentioned, they now have the right to, or the ability to make laws that will directly protect the Mueller investigation, and a variety of different things that were completely controlled by Republicans before. So let's go back to Sessions. Sessions was on Trump's bad side because Trump wanted Sessions to put an end to the Mueller investigation and the entire Russia probing and that whole situation. Mm-hmm. Sessions recused himself. Because Sessions recused himself, the Assistant Attorney General, and I have his name, if you can give me a second.
Rod Rosenstein.
Yes, Rosenstein had been over the investigation. Now, Rosenstein had been under fire by many Republicans and Trump because he has failed to, at any point, put a stop to the investigation. He's basically let Mueller, for the most part, complete the investigation how he wants to, without directly stopping him or impacting him in pretty much
budget or nothing.
Right, anything like that. Now that Sessions has resigned on today, so the Rosenstein was basically put over this as a backup because Sessions recused himself. So now that the actual Attorney General, let me say this, now that Trump has appointed a new Attorney General as a temporary Attorney General, and I want to say his name is, give me 1 second, because y'all know I'm not good with names. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. He's appointed Attorney General Matthew Whitaker as a temporary Attorney General. So now he is going to be the acting Attorney General. So now it's going to default back to the actual Attorney General being, having full autonomy over the investigations that are, underway under the federal government. Mm-hmm. So what this means, and before I even say this, Whitaker, prior to being in this position now, has already publicly stated that he feels that Rosenstein should put an end to the investigation. Basically doing it, he had already agreed with Trump.
On Don Lemon's show, right?
Right, prior to being appointed to this position. So now that he is in this position, what does that mean? That means that they have every intention on shutting this thing down as quickly and as swiftly as possible. Mm-hmm. Now
Trump watches Don Lemon. He saw what that man said on Don Lemon's show. He already knew. He was like, basically, all that would need to happen is they would need to shrink his budget down to pennies, and then it would basically freeze the investigation, and in that way, you wouldn't have to worry about trying to fire Mueller. He wouldn't be able to do nothing with no money.
Right.
And he said this on Don Lemon show.
Because firing him would cause too much of attention, so we're just going to strangle you. We're gonna put a pillowcase over your head and give you a slow death. That's what. That's basically what they.
He needs to recuse himself too, but I doubt. I don't see it. What you think?
No. This is all happening today. Now that the Democrats are in power, this is basically their last day to do this, or they're trying to act as quickly as possible because they know that Maxine Waters has been gutted for impeachment.
She's devoted to it. Yes.
Since before he was even elected, she was already thinking about impeachment.
Impeaching. Yes, bitch. Before he took a seat.
Before he was even sworn in, she was already talking about impeachment.
Man, I'm be honest with you. Maxine was one of the first ones that let us know, like, we got to really start paying a bunch of attention. Because Maxine was going into the little meetings and things they was having, and she was coming out of them meetings and saying shit she ain't had no business saying. Like, Maxine was letting us know, like, it's shit going on behind these closed doors. Y'all would not imagine what the fuck they got going on. So Maxine ain't playing with no damn body.
Nobody. So let me say this. I'm hoping that the Democrats already have counterattacks, counter moves already being put in motion and in place today. Because trust and believe this is a very calculated move from the Republicans and Trump for even on Jeff Sessions' part to hold out resigning up until today because he knew that he could hold out. He couldn't after the Democrats won the House. He couldn't hold out resigning anymore. Otherwise, he would completely fuck the Republican Party. If he had held out to the end of the year like he had intentionally planned on it. By that time, the Democrats would have already gotten. They would already put certain things in motion to protect Mueller, protect his budget, protect, subpoena his records. Mueller would probably already have all the tea and information he needs to go ahead and come out with formal charges. Because that's now that the Democrats are in the House, they have the ability to aid Mueller in his investigation, subpoena certain documents.
Protect him.
Yes, subpoena certain documents and demand them so that and release the information over to Mueller to kind of speed up his process. Also, in the event that Trump decides not to sit down for an interview and he needs to be subpoenaed, it'll go through the House. The House will be the body to determine whether or not they can subpoena a sitting president to testify. So all of this is changing. This is somebody tweeted and said, politics is juicier than Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they told no lies.
They especially this new season.
Lies.
They told no damn lies. That season was so dry, bitch. I found myself zoning out. I was like, okay.
I don't remember what it was. I don't even remember what happened.
Well, I'll tell you later. We might talk about it for a second.
But anyway.
Okay, so let me say real quick. I said Rosa Parks earlier was the one that said Jeff Sessions ain't shit, but it really was Coretta Scott King. I'm so sorry, Coretta. I just done handed your legacy.
Just confused.
Woo, Lord Jesus, I'm acting like the other folks. I just handed.
When it come to names, I don't even try. I don't even try because I have never been good with names. I will mess up somebody's name.
A few moments later.
Okay, y'all. So I'm so sorry. We ended up getting disconnected there for a second. But we are back. What was I saying? I feel like I said something that led you to say something else. And then, okay, yes, I remember now.
Coretta Scott King.
Yes, that's correct. It was not Rosa Parks, y'all. It was Coretta Scott King. I'm so sorry. She wrote back in 1986. She said, "I write to express my sincere opposition to the confirmation of Jefferson B. Sessions as a federal district court judge for the Southern District of Alabama. My professional and personal roots in Alabama are deep and lasting. Anyone who has used the power of his office as United States Attorney to intimidate and chill the free exercise of the ballot by citizens should not be elevated to our courts. Mr. Sessions has used the awesome powers of his office in a shabby attempt to intimidate and frighten elderly black voters. For this reprehensible conduct, he should not be awarded the federal judgeship." So the point is, don't feel bad for Jeff Sessions, okay, in being fired. He ain't shit. In the same way that James Comey really wasn't shit. Even though James started running that mouth, the thing about it is I think that Jeff still feels that what Trump is doing and what he has done is right. Because if he wanted to, in that little letter that he wrote, in his resignation, that was a forced resignation. It was not his choice to quit, but he was more so told you have no choice but to quit. He could have said the truth. He could have said, I feel this is an attempt to not, the same way that James Comey came forward and was like, you up to some shit. Like he kept it real at least at that point. Right. He kept it real and he was like, you up to some shit. You ain't, I'm gonna do whatever I can to help out with this investigation. Blah blah blah. Like Jeff could have done that and he did not. He in that resignation he was saying positive things about Trump. The only thing that we got out of that resignation was the fact that it was a forced resignation, that Trump did make him resign. So I don't know. Rosa tried to not Rosa Lord again. Coretta tried to tell us. She tried.
A lot of these people that are in these positions we've known about for decades, as far as their corrupt activities, their racism, their open white supremacy. They've enacted many and many laws and done different things to help an agenda that is clearly racist, at the very least. So this is not news, and I hope you guys can get the impression at all that I was here for Jeff Sessions. By any means, no. I was going on the facts of he did recuse himself from this investigation, which prohibited his ability to impact the investigation, which is the sole reason that Trump wanted him fired. Everything else that he's been doing, everything else Trump has been doing, he has been full of support, and they have been good duties. Other than that one issue.
Yes, that was the whole reason that he put him anyway, is because they were good duties. Right. That was it. So, yeah, we just had to put that out there because I just don't want, because I know when James Comey got fired, we were like, yes, James, because James started opening their mouth and was saying stuff that could help us. But that doesn't mean that he was shit. I prefer James
over Jeff.
I do prefer James over Jeff.
James was the attorney, wasn't he under Obama's investigation?
Now that he may have been. While you talk, I'm gonna confirm.
Okay. But
what you're saying is that if he was, then that means
it doesn't mean. It just means that at least he was bearable. He wasn't. He was bearable. But
yes, he was under Barack briefly as well as George Bush.
Correct. Okay. So what else you got?
All right. So let's talk about. I actually found out about this through you. This is about Amari Hardrick. I think his name is Hardrick. Ghost, basically, on Power. I didn't know nothing about this, but I did find out, and I did think that it was interesting. So he went on the Breakfast Club recently, but before that, let's talk about a month ago. A month ago, he got into it with a fan on Instagram after he refused to take a picture with the fan while he was out with his wife. And from the way that she described it, child, shit. 1 minute she was going up to him asking for a picture, and the next she was getting yelled at and screamed at. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play what she said online about him and about her trying to get a picture.
What she said.
I was in Brooklyn Bridge Park, and I spotted Omari Hardwick. And I walked up to him, and I told him he was a great actor.
She walked like 100.
And I told him I was a fan, and that could I get a photo with him? And he was like, no photos because I'm with my family. So I said, oh, really? Okay. And I went to walk off. He started yelling and screaming at me, all you care about is goals. You didn't even acknowledge my family. And he just went all off, telling me he don't even want me to be his fan.
We said that's
laughing. So I didn't even say nothing. I turned around and I looked at him and I said, you know what? I said, now I see that you are really the complete and I just turned around and I just walked off.
Okay. So after she said that, he decided to address it because at that point it was like, people started coming for him. They was like, nigga, who the fuck you think you is? Like you rejecting pictures, nigga? We know your character name more than we know you. Like, right. What the hell? So, in response, he said that she was disrespectful, that she did not acknowledge that his wife was there, and the fan ended up coming in back because like he commented that on the post, and then she commented back, and then he commented back, and then she commented back, and it was just a back and forth game. That all was a month ago, like I said, and it kind of died down. Like I didn't really see it in the blogs and stuff much, but who caught it was the motherfucking Breakfast Club, and he's in that new movie with Tika Sumpter, Nobody's Fool. And
Which
so
was
they
good.
were, yes, and I want to see that so bad. They were advertising that, and the Breakfast Club was like, look, like a fan had got mad at you or whatever last month, and you know whatever. And then Tika was like, oh, I hadn't heard about it, and they were like, well, let's play it for you so you can hear what was
so
said.
messy. They are so messy.
They are so fucking because I would.
It's one of the messiest people on radio.
And he does it. He does it so well. He's just so good at it. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna actually play what Amari said about the incident on the Breakfast Club.
The sister walked up like 100 miles, so there was a nanny there, and the nanny was like, she's been following you for like that 3 blocks. So I was like, oh, so she come. I said, no, ma'am, I'm with my family, you know, whatever. And she was like, really? No picture? She said, really? As if, are you crazy? You knew, Emmy. She didn't at all walk away and go, okay, I got you. She sat there and looked at me and went, really? And I said, really? I'm with my family. God bless you. Which I always say, God bless you. Then she stays, and then the nanny goes like, he said it. He's with his family. I said, you're staring at me. You're not even acknowledging my family. So the only reason I said you're not acknowledging my family is because I'm like, are you trying to buck up at me? Like, what are you doing? Why are you staring at me?
Right.
I said it.
It's always a hard thing.
I said it. Yeah. I said no. And she kept like, she said, really? Like 3, really? She wasn't off for walking up, whether 100 miles or 500 miles. Or you don't think we're humbled by that? That's amazing to us.
Yeah.
But when you make it that far, now it's very different. Think about it. It is very different when somebody tells Tika and I, and they come to an event to watch us, they go, yo, I drove from Connecticut. You're going to get that picture.
Right.
And you know what? Jay usually grabs the camera. You know how many times Jay's grabbed the camera and taken a picture? Obviously, she's a secure woman. Mm-hmm. Obviously, whomever is married to Tika and any other female lead actress I've worked with is secure with these women. Mm-hmm. So they're very secure to people we go home to. They'll grab the camera. But disrespect is disrespect. If I'm alone, man, I'm going to take 75 pictures. Mm-hmm. Because I have to have that to leverage out the opportunities that when I'm with my family, I get to say, I'm with the family now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you catch me when I'm alone, you're lucky. But if that young lady goes, I'm such a fan, I love you so much. Hello, you know another great way? Just acknowledge our family.
Right. Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
sorry to bother you.
Nigga, this woman to my right has saved my life. Right. Think about it. You don't really know the story. Mm-hmm. Nigga, I was broke as fuck. You think about it. I was broke as fuck. She saved my fucking life. Chill the fuck out. Just relax. And then acknowledge her enough. It can be half of a look. Hi. That's all we need. Hi. Cool. You acknowledge that she's a breathing entity. Mm-hmm. Motherfuckers is crazy.
Okay. I thought that this was really interesting because Amari got pretty hot about the way that she chose to handle that. And he says that it didn't go down the way that she exactly said. And he feels like he says he takes pictures and does all that thing with enough fans that he should be allowed to say no every now and a fucking then, and it should be okay. Cause I'm signing more than I'm turning down, or I'm taking more pictures than I'm turning down. So it should be all right. Do you feel that celebrities have an obligation, or it is part of their job for if people ask you for a photo for you to do it? Do you feel like that?
No, absolutely not. I do not feel that they owe you a picture. They are getting paid for a job. Whether it's making music, being on stage, performances, acting, whatever it is. They're not... me coming up to any celebrity and demanding a picture is out of line. I can ask for a picture. They can politely decline. Now, when I emphasis on the politely, if I come up to you as a celebrity, I ask you for a picture, I do feel that you should be, if you don't want to take it, just say, no, thank you, I'm sorry, I don't feel like taking it, or for whatever reason, I'm not taking it, and that be that. But you shouldn't also be disrespectful to me just for asking a picture and you out in a public place somewhere where you know fans are going to be and people are going to want to take a picture with you. So from what he said, he did. He said that God, no thank you, I'm with my family, God bless you. Something like that, to that effect. I think that's perfectly fine. And at that point, she should not have persisted. She should have walked away, if that is what happened. Which I honestly believe him over her. I feel like she was in her feelings. I feel like she felt...
She was embarrassed.
She was embarrassed, and she felt a certain right to a picture with him that she does not have. And I also agree with him when he said if I'm by myself somewhere and I'm out in public, I take pictures all the time. He said, but when I'm with my family, when I'm with my wife and my kids, especially considering how much they dog his wife out for being non-black, I can understand him saying, when I'm with my family time, I don't want to take pictures. I want to be left alone. I just want to be with them, especially if you're going to come up to them and then don't even acknowledge their presence, which is what fans are going to do as well.
They are, because they a lot of times they just freaking the fuck out. So I wish I could see like how she came up to him, like how it was positioned. I just wish I could, because what we have here is just two different versions of the same story. That's what we have, because she acts like, you know, she just said, could she get a picture? He said no, and she was like, really, or whatever. Like she made him the aggressor.
At that point, to me, in her, even when she was telling the story, she still, to me, felt like the aggressor to me, because he said no thank you, I'm with my family, or something like that, and she said, really, like, you really not gonna take a picture? And at that point, and then she made these accusations. At that point, basically, I knew he wasn't shit. That's basically what she said to me. That's what it sounded like to me.
Okay, so let's change it from Mr. Hardrick, and let's say that it's Miss Nose, and you see her, Miss Carter,
and says,
you see her out, and you ask for a picture, and she says no. You just walk off?
No, I'm just gonna. Okay, so firstly, as I'm walking up to her, I'm already gonna be snapping pictures. I mean, like
you gonna be getting your own selfie.
No, exactly. I may not be close to her.
You gonna stick Beyonce in the picture is what you saying.
I'm gonna get a picture of her. Let's be clear. Then I'm gonna ask for a selfie with her. She was asking for a selfie with him, from my understanding. She wanted.
So
to take
if you
a picture
ask for a selfie and she says no,
that's fine. To me, that's fine, because for one, and I think Lady Gaga talked about this before. She says that if she does not want to be seen, want to be interacted with, want to be bothered with by fans, she doesn't go to those places where she don't want to be, taking pictures, or she don't want to have paparazzi near her. She says she doesn't do any of that. She said, if I, as big as I am, I can also, if I don't want to take a picture, if I don't want to be stopped by fans, if I don't want paparazzi seeing me, I can get around and I can go to places, and I know where I can and cannot go. Janet Jackson has also said this before, and I feel like anytime that I would see these type of celebrities is when they are willing and able to take a picture. You get what I'm saying? And and if they don't want to take a picture, they're not gonna go. They're not gonna go walk down Times Square in New York, somewhere where they clearly people are going to be present. You know what I'm trying to say? But I wouldn't hold it against Beyonce, because I don't feel like I've even let me see how to say this. I've met several celebrities in my lifetime. And like I was in the elevator the other day, and who was it? Halle Berry was at the studio that we were at. I didn't walk up to her. I mean, I was like, oh.
You saw Halle Berry, bitch?
I did.
Girl, fuck Amari, bitch. How she look, bitch?
She looks the same. She's beautiful. She's very petite.
Very
petite.
God.
Like, I'm talking about, I feel like I could just wrap my fingers around her waist. That's how petite she is.
Damn, Halle better be fucking snatched. Yes, bitch. Halle like 50-something, bitch. She better be snatched.
But it doesn't. I didn't even take a picture of her. I didn't even ask to take a picture with her. I didn't even approach her. I was like, oh my goodness.
You didn't even do a picture from a distance?
I was just happy to be in her presence. You know how I am. I go places, don't even take pictures. I go to.
Yeah, you do. I don't even know why I'm asking you that. Like I'm shocked, bitch. You will go to a whole Beyonce concert and leave with no pictures.
I like to be in the moment. I always have. I hope that I will always have these memories, and just knowing that I was in that presence. This is good enough for me.
I'm gonna need it on camera because when I start to tell a bitch I saw Mariah roast 2 and they looking at me crazy, I need to pull out a video and show you what roast 2 look like. That's what I need. But yes, I understand what you're saying. And I agree with you. I myself would not. Like I've been up on a number of celebrities, Fantasia, Anthony Hamilton. I actually seen Anthony Hamilton in California walking down. I think it was Hollywood, where the
Hollywood Boulevard.
Walk of Fame is. Mm-hmm. Yes. So I didn't approach him. Now some of the people that I was with approached him and got a picture and this and that, but I didn't because I guess I kind of feel like you. Like I wouldn't. That's not
unless you are somebody to me that only time I would bring out my phone personally is if you were Beyonce, Janet, Serena, somebody that's real high on my list.
A top.
Yeah, you have to be somebody that I would almost take a bullet for.
Girl, I don't know about the bullet part, but
no, that was a joke. But
okay, because I was gonna say I don't know about that. But what I did like what Tika said about that. She was like, people need to learn how to like. You just got to come up to us as calmly as you possibly can, because a lot of times people get the freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, y'all have got to stop putting these people on these pedestals to the point that you just. Like, it's one thing for you to be at the concert and they come out and you scream and holler and shout and all that. But if you see them in person and you you think you about to go up to them and try to get it, you got to be calm. Don't nobody in life want nobody coming up to them crazy.
Right.
You have got to be calm. So I agree with Tika. Like, she was like, you got to be as calm as you possibly can and understand that like, in reality, Beyonce, Mariah, when you get to that level especially, there's no way humanly possible for you to take a picture with everybody that one way.
Right.
It's just not possible. So you just got to think about the fact that this is a person, and sometimes they get tired of being on display.
Right.
Because that's how I feel like celebrities are. They're on display.
Justin Bieber described it as he feels like he's in a zoo, and he's the animal. And people walking around looking.
I imagine it being like that. I truly imagine celebrityum, or should I say just fame. I imagine it being like that. Like not having money or whatever, because having money and getting that are two different things. But just being famous.
So
like
I have a question for you. Would you want to be as famous?
Yes.
As like Mariah?
Yes.
So
yes.
you would choose that?
Yes. I don't even have to think about it. Now let me say this. I also would like a matching bank account. No, I would say that because I don't want fame and not the bank account, because that's frustration. That's what that is. That's anxiety. I don't need you standing around and I'm broke. You say that's who?
Famestration.
Famestration, bitch. I like that. Famestration. I might have to make that the title of this episode. Famestration, honey. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that.
I wouldn't want to be that big to where I couldn't leave my house without security.
You kind of grand. I don't know if I agree with that. You a little grand, bitch.
So you don't agree with my assessment of myself?
I think you would like to walk outside and say,
I feel like it would feel good.
The lights.
But that being that day after day after day after day, like that being the rest of your life where I can't just, let me just run in Target. I can't just, do some basic. I just can't.
You have to go overseas or some shit. Stay somewhere else. Because they got places where like these celebrities can go to the store when ain't nobody going to crack her eye. They got them places.
I wouldn't mind being like Amari's level of famous. Well, I'm famous, but I also don't need security. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm
you don't feel like a threat to your life?
Yeah, I don't feel like people are not going to bum rush me. Like if Beyonce start walking out the street by herself, she may get trampled on people trying to tear her apart to get a picture with her.
Ain't that crazy that she would get trampled though? Like instead of like y'all would actually literally run over her trying to get a picture.
Exactly. So
you would kill her trying to get a fucking picture. That's crazy to me. But that's fandom.
Yeah. So
or standom, should I say?
So I would want to be just personally. I wouldn't mind being famous, but I would still want to be just to the point where I can still walk around and not need security, but just right under that. So I can go out and people know me and that whole thing, but I don't have to have security. You don't have to be a whole big production just for me to go to the mall. Go somewhere.
Right. I see that. I agree with that. I guess I would have to. I feel like I would want that Mariah level. I just feel like it would be such a great feeling to just know that there are so many people out here that adore and admire and love you and all that. I feel like that would be a great feeling, but at the same time, if I am Amari's level, I don't know how I feel because, you know, these people be wanting these pictures and things, but it's like, are you really supporting me? That's the part of being a celeb. It's like, and they remind me of even what's her name? There are a number of artists that the gay community has been able to get to stop doing shit or to apologize for doing shit. Like I remember Jennifer Holliday when she was getting ready to sing at Trump's rally. The gay community came out and was like, "Yo, that ain't cool. Don't do that shit." Or even the black community as well. They do that all the time. Chris Evans, Michelle, and all that. They had her apologize and all that bullshit. Like the communities are powerful because they remind you who supports you, and if you don't stop what the fuck you about to do or did do, we gonna stop supporting you. Right. And that works for a lot of them. But one person that it did not work for was what the lady name is. Jesus, the woman not Tina Turner, Whitney Houston say is her favorite single.
Kim Burrell.
Kim fucking Burrell. It remind me of Kim. Like I think I'd be that celebrity that'll make that video and say, "Y'all say y'all been supporting me. Where's the support?"
Yeah, all y'all say we've been supporting you. I have yet to sell 1 million records. So where are all of y'all at? We've been the ones supporting you. I have yet to win a Grammy. Where is the support for real?
I have yet to go platinum.
I have yet to go platinum, bitch.
I have
Where's
yet to win
the
a
support?
Grammy.
Y'all say y'all gonna stop supporting me. I hadn't seen the support. So I might feel like that if I'm Amari. I might be like, where is the support? Because I don't see it.
No, he's on a very popular show. People watch
on a very popular show. And once that show is...
Well, he just did the movie. The movie is good. If you go see the movie, Nobody's Fool. That
movie is good, but the fact that Tyler Perry did it is already keeping a bunch of people from going. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm going to be honest. This is probably I wasn't going to see it initially, but my sister wanted to go see it. But so I'm like, okay, just fine. But it's not a movie I just felt I had to see. But in my opinion, I think I've probably seen at least 80 to 90% of Tyler Perry's work. Well, I would say 80, probably 70. Now I'm thinking about a lot of movies I didn't see. This is probably, at least out of I've seen, probably the best or one of the best movies that he's ever produced.
You know what? And I believe your assessment of the movie. I'm just telling you what the people online and what the people I have talked to have been saying.
Night School was horrible.
I ain't seen Night School.
Night School was trash.
I didn't see Night School.
I felt like it was going to be trash. This is not even close to trash. Like, Tiffany Haddish is actually hilarious, this movie. The last couple of movies she did, she was not funny at all to me. She was hilarious, this movie. The movie it was just a well put together movie. There's some parts that were Tyler Perry, because he do have to Tyler Perry it up. But
he gotta put a man on scene with some abs or something.
Or when you cast on Amari, shirt is coming off.
Yeah. He's always got to have a black man with a shirt off in a movie.
But the movie was good. I encourage you to. I would spend my money on it.
I'm going to see it, and I agree with your assessment. And I ain't even seen it, and I agree with you because I know that you know what you're talking about. But I'm telling you what people are saying. Because if you think about the last movie he did, the one with Taraji P. Henson, I can't even remember what the fuck it was called. It was terrible. And I think
did he do the one with Gabrielle Union, or that was just another black movie?
The Gabrielle Union, I think that's just another black movie. That might be Will Packer or somebody.
So did he do Proud Mary? Is that what you're talking about?
No, he didn't do Proud Mary. But they said that one was bad too.
It wasn't that good.
Proud Mary was better than this one that I'm talking about that he did.
Which I'm trying to remember. Taraji. What did he do?
I'm going to tell you what the title of this movie is.
What did she do in the movie?
She was married to a man. It looked like she was going through mental health issues.
I didn't see that. No, I knew that was trash. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she appeared on a boat at some point. Yeah, she was a stalker. She just was popping up. That movie was called Scan to it. Okay, Acrimony.
Yes, I didn't get that with a chance. I knew.
Yeah. And those movies came out back to fucking back, and they came out right behind Hidden Figures at that. That was actually the biggest disappointment. I'm like Taraji, that movie should have came out before Hidden Figures. Figures
you should have just not did them. You
just should have. How do you go from Oscar worthy to that? It don't. But it's Tyler.
Because the Academy Award, they do look at your entire work because they like to see growth and progression and all of that. Might have hindered
we
us.
saw reduction. Well, yeah, right. Exactly. I don't know. So I will see it, but I don't. And I think the movie's going to definitely do good. It's going to make more than its budget. Tyler has never had a movie that has not outperformed what the budget was. Like, cause his movies are usually the budget is pretty low, so he's able to outdo that very easily. I think it's going to do well. I just don't know. People are just tired of. I don't know. They just tired of Tyler and his bullshit with these movies.
Let me say this: the movie was so good that I was actually saying, I might can see this last Madea movie. I might can get through it.
Why would you not see the last Madea movie?
People just seen it because it's their last one. But we've been.
If y'all don't know, Tyler Perry is saying he done with Madea, and next year is gonna be the last movie and the last tour with Madea.
Okay. I think.
Now I'm actually. You say what?
I think it's a lie.
I think that Medea's gonna take a break and then she's gonna come back and it's gonna do well.
I think that because he said he's gonna have to kill her off. I think that if he do kill her off, she's gonna pop up in a casket like I'm back, bitch, something like that.
Yeah.
The gun shooting it up. It's gonna be something like
that. You're right. This might be a ploy just to get people to see the movie. And like you said, at the end, she's gonna come back.
This is strictly a ploy to get
for the
people
tour
in the
and yes, and to sell them tour tickets
because people love
online.
Nostalgia and they love a last hurrah.
They do.
Then they're going to find out this is not the last hurrah. This is.
They do. They definitely do. Because let's not act like Toni Braxton didn't do that to us. She said she was done singing.
Let's not act like this escape is even a thing right now. Because we thought it was going to be a last hurrah.
Come on now. And Jay-Z retired too.
He did
Eminem retired. A lot of the girls do this. They do this. So, yeah, you're right. You might be on to something with that. Now, what I will say is that if Sis is coming through New Orleans for a show, which I feel like he might be, I might step down, honey. I might step on out there because I've never seen Tyler live.
I've never seen
it. And I ain't going to lie, I would
always
like
better
to.
than the movie, so I have no problem seeing the play.
Yes, I would love to see
He just never came to a city close to me.
Come on now.
But I'm sure he's going to come out here, so it's not.
Yeah, I'm sure he is too. So let me do one more real quick. Can I?
Sure.
Okay, so Rebel Wilson. Let's talk about Rebel Wilson. Do y'all know who she is? Do y'all know Rebel?
Fat Amy.
How do I get people to know Rebel?
Fat Amy.
Pitch Perfect.
Fat who? Fat Amy. That's her character in Pitch Perfect.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing you would know her from. Fat Amy.
I didn't know.
People don't even know her real name. They just know her as Fat Amy.
Well, her name is Rebel Wilson, and I like that name. I actually like that. I thought about that when I was looking at. I hate that this was not a good story, but aside from that, I was like, oh, that's a cute name, Rebel. I've never thought about naming a child.
Her siblings' names are like Riot and Anarchy and something like that.
Oh, so her mama was onto something.
Yeah, it's like a series. They have it's like 4 of them. It's like Riot, Anarchy, Treason, something like that.
Okay, Treason. I don't know about that one, but okay. We're gonna stick with Rebel. Okay, so Rebel Wilson, she went on Ellen DeGeneres and she said something that she probably shouldn't have. That was a lie. She said that she was the first ever plus size girl to be the star of a romantic comedy. And instantly when I saw that, I was like, okay, I thought Queen Latifah did Just Right and Last Holiday and Monique did The Fat Girls and okay, but I think that was a romantic comedy. But
she meant white because black movies those not categorized as rom-coms or dramas. They categorize as black movies
in her mind because
no, in Hollywood.
Per the studio, they rom-coms in her mind. In her mind, they black Hollywood.
No, I'm talking about how they treat them. Oh, that's just black.
Now you're right about that. You're right about that. Just the way that it come when they come out, they are black. Yeah, we don't. Now you are right about that. You are right about that. They are definitely. When we put out Dreamgirls, is in the same category as I don't know.
A Madea Halloween.
Oh, come on now. The same. That's the same thing. Ain't y'all doing the same thing? Somebody with a wig on. Ain't that what it is?
The help, all of that black.
A chitlin circuit. Ain't that's what it? That's all they see. But so one Twitter user, somebody on Twitter, they pointed out to her. They said, "Sis, have you not heard of Queen Latifah and Monique? They did movies that were rom-coms and things. Do you not carry a lunchbox, sis? Do you not know?" And so Rebel responded to her on Twitter, and she said, "Hey, girl, yeah, of course I have heard of these movies, but it was." You say what now?
That was her first lie.
Lie one. She said, "Of course I've heard of these movies."
As soon as they tweeted that, she went and did a quick Google to see what those were.
Just right. Queen Latifah. I I don't think
Last holiday.
Last holla, fat girls. I don't know. So she came to Twitter and she said, so yeah, I've heard of those, but it's questionable as to whether one, technically those actresses were plus size when filming those movies. Sis, Monique just literally lost weight. Like sis been plus.
She just moved from plus
to plus. She was plus. She was plus
to thick.
Right. She didn't even go to. That's what the people. Every time we post Monique now. Do you see that though? Every time we post Monique, the girls online saying, "Oh, I thought you hated skinny girls." I'm like, Monique ain't skinny though. Like
she's not skinny by any.
She's still. She shake her arm and
she says she's just under 200, and we can tell.
Just by just she mean point. Whatever.
We not doing it. Cause Monique look good.
Monique do look good. Monique do like she might not have the right mind, but she got the right frame. She look good. But yeah, she said technically those actresses were plus size when filming these movies, or two, technically those films are categorized / billed as a studio rom-com with a sole lead. So there's a slight gray area.
No, because they was definitely plus size, so that's not gray.
That's not gray at all. I don't.
They were definitely plus size.
They certainly, and even the studio build, like all it takes is a quick Google, and you will see that by the studio
That's what
all
I'm getting
of those
to the
movies.
point of. In her mind, they were billed as black movie.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now that I understand what you're saying, yes, I agree with you. They definitely a hustle. And when she said that, I was like, sis, you really don't. You really see them as nigga movies, and that's it. Like you don't see nothing else. So after she
playing all of them in the same movie.
All in the same. Boys from the hood, honey, throw all that in there. Poetic justice, throw everything in there. So after she doubled down on her lies, she actually started blocking people, girl. At that point, people started coming to her and they was like, girl, you're not right. And if you disagree, she was blocking people so hard that they made a hashtag. She just
said, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. Please forgive me.
And that's it. That's it.
People don't know how to do good press, but keep going.
They don't. She was blocking people so much that people started making on Twitter, they made a hashtag Rebel Wilson blocked me. Like they were doing, they done made a whole party. They out here celebrating and acting a fool about you blocking people because that's how much you did not want to be wrong. And there was one person on Twitter that said something, and she's like a Twitter, I guess, influencer child because this video got reposted so many times. But she really made a point with this one, and she's a plus size girl herself. She's at Nabella, Nabela, and she pointed out on Twitter and said that the thing, not only is this just offensive what Rebel has done, the fact that she's basically erasing the history of these people of color, and the fact that they have already, made strides in that genre. She also pointed out the fact that what she loves most about Queen Latifah is that she did not have to use her size as the butt of jokes, bitch. In her rom-coms. Girl.
It was never even referenced that the Queen Latifah was big in any movie.
It's never. And Queen will be going up against a skinny girl. She'll be going up against a skinny girl for the man. She will. But it will not be referenced that that's got anything to do with the man.
Because
choice.
She's gorgeous.
She is very gorgeous. Especially when she put a gown on. She is very gorgeous. I know what you were saying
especially when she put a gown on.
Well, Queen could be old nigga when she want to be. We already know this. Come on now. Set it
off real quick.
She could be set it off. She can set it off. She was strong. She wasn't, but she could put on. But Queen put on a dress like Last Holiday. Last Holiday is honestly one of my favorite movies.
Yes,
I don't care what nobody say about it.
Holiday season.
Come on now. I watch it every season. I love Last Holiday, especially. So that movie right there, I like a movie where anybody come up in the money. I just like that. I just like to see them come up in the money. I don't know. Like, that's why Princess Diaries was so, like, my shit. Because I just like to see somebody come up into some money and watch them ball out.
What would be the first thing you would buy if you had won that $1.6 billion?
Girl. The first thing I would buy, bitch a one-way ticket out of this hole. Bye. I'm gone. Getting the fuck out. I don't know. That's a big, maybe an island or something. Some just outrageous, bitch. Something that I don't need.
I feel like you would be, because y'all think that I'm the grand. I feel like you would be even more grand than me.
What's this? I don't know. I think we would match each other's grand. I really do. I think so. Because I think you, sis, you just, I don't know, sis. You are.
They'll probably have to look for my 10th thing that I buy. It wouldn't be my first thing. I'll probably.
It might not be your first.
Pay off bills.
You frugal. You frugal.
Pay off my mama and daddy bills.
Come on now.
That would definitely be first. Then you got to get to the once everything is taken care of. Then it'd be like the 10th thing.
then after that would definitely be first. Making sure like not just. I just would have to take a day. Pay off my siblings' bills. Everybody's bills be paid off. I would just have to take a day to realize that I don't have to go to work no more for the rest of my life. I just need a day
quit would be the first thing I would do.
Come on. I need a day to understand that. Like, I no longer rely on anybody else to live.
I actually might go to work for one day just to show the girls.
So would you tell them you don't got money, or would you just act a fool at work?
Because you know when they announce the winner, they don't do like a whole conference or televised, so it'll be on TV. Normally.
Well, if you want, because you can claim it anonymously.
I didn't know that, but I wouldn't claim it anonymously.
You won't. So wait, but sis, do you feel like anybody would? People be trying to kill folk. Girl, I don't know.
Oh no, because I'm not gonna be. As soon as I'm gonna be out, but it's not. I'm not going to. I would claim it, but I also want to see people, all the family members calling and texting you and all of that, just so I can block them or change. I'm gonna change my number.
You say so you could block them.
I just want to see. I want this satisfaction to see all the
family?
Fake people come to me. Not my close family. Just
okay, I'm finna forward this episode to your siblings.
The great uncles and aunties that you ain't never seen before. Now they done come and they done talk about.
Now everybody related to you. Everybody talking about they done did their ancestry, honey. And
all the exes, the old friends, people you ain't talked to in 10 years.
You know they're gonna be coming out and you know what's gonna be crazy to me? That people actually feel entitled, like. Because they either are related to you or y'all had some type of bond at some point.
Even the people who like your auntie, they feel like, oh, you have to pay my bills now. You have to do this. See,
I don't know. That's a lot. Now you talk about dealing with fame. That might be even worse. Dealing with the lottery. Because from what I see, if I'm not mistaken, they say that most people that end up winning the lottery, their life be going to hell.
Right. It'd be the worst decision ever.
It'd be the worst thing ever happened. There'd be people that they be giving like family members money.
90% of lottery winners file for bankruptcy within a year or something like that. That ain't gonna be me.
And then on top of it, I've seen some stories where they've given like family members money and didn't know that the family members were dealing with like drug addictions and things, and then that allowed them to just enhance the problems that they were already dealing with, and next thing you know, they end up dead. And like it's a lot. Like I think they got a whole show out there devoted to people whose lotteries winnings have just gone to shits. So I don't know, sis. This went from happy to bitter. So let's move on. So yeah, in this whole Twitter thing, after Miss Nabella pointed that out and she read Rebel for her life, Rebel ended up blocking her too. Rebel was like, "Bitch, you really read me. I'm really finna block you. I'm finna double block you." So after she did that, now let me tell you who came on forward, because Monique don't play with her legacy. What is she, the most awarded human being in the world? She's more awarded than any alien in the atmosphere. Monique is the most awarded human. She gonna tell you what her resume got on it. No, she just not gonna tell you what her resume don't got.
Table, but she the only one can see it.
She gonna read from it, but she not gonna actually show you it on paper. That's what she gonna do. So she came forward and she responded to Rebel and she said, "Hey, my sweet sister." She said, "Let's please not allow this business to erase our talent with giving gray areas and technicalities. Take a moment and know the history. Don't be a part of erasing it." That part right there was in all caps. She said, "I wish you the best, and I love you for real." No, she didn't say that part. "I love you for real." That's me. But yeah, so
that should be her slogan.
That should be her slogan. But that's be more careful for you. Be more careful, not finna let you not finna let you shit on her legacy, and she not finna come forward and say nothing.
What is the name of her movie that she did that I probably didn't see?
Fat Girls.
I don't think I saw that.
How you gonna sit up here and question whether or not these women was fat and the girl did a movie called Fat Girls? Like that was the movie that was the rom-com.
She clearly stopped after last holiday on that tweet.
She had to stop after Queen's
she
filmography.
didn't even know who Monique was. It's not even.
She couldn't have because I'm like, Monique whole movie called Fat Girls, bruh. Like how you ain't see that? But after that, Rebel decided to come forward and did what she should have done from the beginning and apologize. She said, "Hi, Monique. It was never my intention to erase anyone else's achievements, and I adore you and Queen Latifah so much. I support all plus-size ladies and everything positive we are doing." Sis, it ain't we. It really ain't we. Because Nabella already told you, all you do is make fun of the fact that you fat. Let's keep it real. That's all Rebel do.
That's all she does. That's her movie. That's her bit in every single movie. That's her bit in her stand-up. Is that, oh, look at
how
me,
is
I'm
that
fat.
progressive?
That's why I call her Fat Amy.
Come on. How is that progressive though? Like how is that? That's almost the equivalent of what people say about black folks, and every time they want to put us in a movie for a point there, for a while there, it felt like it had to be slave related or something like that in order for them to be, nominated for the most prestigious awards. You had to be somebody's slave getting beat by somebody, whip or whatever, in order for you to be nominated. This the same thing, sis. All you're doing is playing fat people. You playing to the stereotype. You playing to the part of
it's
fat
not
people.
even just playing not playing fat people. It's more of them being the blunt of the joke. Like
and that's reality. That's what a lot of fat people actually. Well, let me not say fat. I didn't mean to, because y'all get me. That's what a lot of people who are plus size. That I don't mean nothing. Come on now, because I'm with you. When you said that time, y'all better post y'all mamas and y'all aunties. Mama got a little weight on her. Aunties got a little weight on her.
Shit on this podcast, and I don't even remember.
You do, and I do, and I remember everything you say. So I don't say fat in a bad way, but what I'm saying is that people who are plus size already deal with that on a daily basis. So you taking it and making a coin off of it, I don't see how that's progressive. I don't see how that's a positive representation for the plus size community. And honestly, I've never thought about this until you tried to make yourself the plus size spokesperson. That's at that point. Now I'm thinking, sis, but you're really not. Sis, you're really not. So you might want to slow down.
The whole premise of the movie is that you get to I think she goes to sleep and wakes up in a role, like her life was horrible, but then all of a sudden she wakes up in the role of a skinny white woman. But she's actually still fat.
But now she's happy.
She's still fat, but she gets treated like she was a skinny white woman.
Again, playing to the humor. And while I do feel like that plot is actually kind of funny, that's not the point. The point is that you are still playing to the stereotype, and you're still playing to what these people deal with in everyday life. And for there to be plenty of plus size individuals out there that are coming to you with sense, like people were coming to you with some real thought out, responses. And even this Nabella woman that I'm talking about, her response was very polite. I might even post her saying it so y'all can hear it for yourself.
Hey guys, I just had to hop on here because I just read something that troubled me on Twitter. It was a comment by Rebel Wilson in regards to her new movie coming out. And she said, "I'm proud to be the first ever plus-sized girl to star in a romantic comedy." What troubles me is that this statement erases the contributions of extremely prominent women that have made a big mark for plus-size women, like Queen Latifah. Without Queen, I don't know where I would be in my life. Queen Latifah has been the star of multiple romantic comedies, including Just Right and Last Holiday, and these movies were incredible and they were mainstream, and to erase her contribution is really wrong. Also, one of the most amazing things about Queen Latifah is that in many of her roles, her character did not have to make her size a butt of a joke. And that is so important. Women of color have to work extremely hard to make their mark in the entertainment space. So it's really unfortunate when fellow actors or actresses do not understand those contributions or do not recognize them and attempt to erase them. It's important to recognize who paved that path. And listen, I want to see women doing well. I want to see women win, but not at the cost of other women and their contributions. And I think that without Queen Latifah, without Raven-Symoné, without plus-sized women that have already done it, I wouldn't feel encouraged to do it.
She was very polite about what she said, and she was not, even when she made the statement about Queen Latifah, she didn't say, "Oh, Rebel, that's what you do." She didn't even say that. That's me saying that because that is what Rebel do. She just said that that's what she really like about Queen, and she left it at that. So you were blocking these people. That's very immature. You like 38, sis. So you ain't no little kid. So I don't know. But anyway, I think when she put up that response to Monique, she thought that the backlash was gonna dissipate. But honey, the girls on Twitter, they was not having it. They was still going with they hashtag Rebel Wilson blocked me little post, and. So by Monday, she realized, okay, I might need to do a little extra here because you girls are still on my ass and I do need y'all to go see this movie. So let me get back on here. And she said, in a couple of well-intended moments, hoping to lift my fellow plus-size women up, I neglected to show the proper respect to those who climbed this mountain before me, like Monique, Queen Latifah, Melissa McCarthy, Ricky Lake, and likely many others. With the help of some very compassionate and well thought out responses from others on social media, I now realize what I said was not only wrong, but also incredibly hurtful. To be part of a problem I was helping makes it that much more embarrassing and hard to acknowledge. I blocked people on Twitter because I was hurt from the criticism, but those are the people I actually need to hear from more, not less. Again, I am deeply sorry.
A few moments later.
So due to technical difficulties, we are back again.
Yes.
Please forgive us. Our computers will want to act up. Well, my computer will want to act up on a new episode. We've already been gone for 3 weeks.
It is all right. So what we left off, I had just got done reading a second apology from Rebel Wilson. And basically, sis was like, my bad. I ain't trying to shit on nobody's legacy or whatever. So how do you feel about that?
I feel like the second one was written by a publicist, and that should have been the first response. I don't understand how people. It's like they can't see that it's gonna be a big deal before it becomes even a bigger deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you made the initial comment, fine.
Then you started blocking people.
You see people commenting back to you and blocking you. At that point, if they have a legitimate concern, it should have been legitimately and genuinely addressed at that point.
Right.
But then you try to defend your initial statement. That's never. It's like y'all. It's like for some reason people just can't see the ramifications of their actions. Like when she made that initial statement, this was even before I had heard about it. When she made the initial statement, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a whole big thing." I said, "This, and if she don't get this together, this could impact." Movie sales, how the movie does. Right. I thought that, and I didn't even know about the whole hashtag and all of that. I just saw the initial post. I didn't even see none of the responses. Just me initially seeing it. It's like I had the ability to know that this could be a big deal, but you made it an even bigger deal. Like it didn't make sense to me how you couldn't see this and how somebody in your team couldn't see this. But then I had to realize that people are not as aware or of their actions as I guess I'm not gonna say I am, but you get what I'm trying to say.
As people should, as you should be. Like you can't. It's like you can't step outside of yourself and see it from a different angle. I don't know. What I will say is that this kind of reminded me of the situation when I came on the mic and I told y'all about somebody who tried to come at me online and say I don't know how true this fact is because this. This kind of gave me the same thing, especially her initial response, because she said that it is still questionable as to whether 1 and then 2. You need to go find out 1 and 2 before you make that your response. Because you're saying that it's questionable. It shouldn't be. If you're trying to stand on a fact, if you're trying to make yourself the first of something, you've got to have answers. You can't say I'm the first person to ride on a train and say, well, it's questionable if that what sis over there was riding on is a train. You can't say that. You gotta know for fact. If you're gonna for fact say that you're first. And so I feel like she claimed something without doing her research to know. It's like, who put that bug in your ear that you was the first to do this?
I don't have any sympathy for Rebel. I mean, she's the final response is the one that she should have led with. She actually should have just kept the shit to herself, honestly.
It was unnecessary. It was really just a throw in. And even when she said it, Ellen was like, "Oh, really?" Ellen was just like, "Bitch, okay." Like, congratulations, I guess. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It'll be like Ellen getting on TV saying, "I'm the first person with a successful talk show." Like, I'm the first.
Did you not see the Oprah?
Did you not? Like, sis. But anyway, did you have another rec list?
Yes, I did want to just touch on some updates about the actual election and how, who won, who didn't. So we talked about the House. I did want to mention Stacey Abrams from Georgia. She's going to be, should she be elected, and I said, should she be elected, she would be the first African-American woman to be elected governor.
Do you think it's going to happen?
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm hopeful because there's still a little hope. So right now, well, at the time of us recording this, she kind of lost the election to what was the Kemp? He had 50.7% of the vote, and she had 48.8% of the vote. But she announced last night that she is not conceding victory because Georgia has a law for their governor's races that basically states that if one party does not get more than 50% of the vote, they will go into a runoff. So if he falls to that 49.9999999 percentage, it will be an automatic runoff that will be held in December. Now, as he currently sits, he's at 50.7. The reason that this is important,
he's at 50.3 now, from what I see.
Okay, 50.3. Okay, that was at the time of me taking these numbers down early, but it had been going steadily down all day. So now he's at 50.3. So the reason that this is very important, as we've talked about the weeks leading up to this election, Georgia has been under fire because they have disenfranchised so many people over these last month or two from voting to stop them. So it's been included literally the gap of people that they have disenfranchised over 100,000 at the very least, could be upwards of 250,000 people from voting just in these past couple of months. So, and we've talked about it before, the whole if you don't use your right to vote, you lose the right to vote, that whole thing, and a few other things that they have done, the exact match law, which states if you have any discrepancies from what they have on file for you, it could be you put your middle name on your birth certificate, but you didn't list your middle name on your voter registration application. It could be stuff like that. That was at least 70,000 votes. People that were intending to register, which means they were intending to actually vote in this upcoming election because they literally registered within these last couple of months in preparation for the midterms. They stopped their applications because of the exact match. And a large percentage of those people were African American people.
And you said at least 70,000, but upwards of 250,000?
No, it's at least total, but doing all the different laws and stuff, they have at least 150,000, but could be upward of 250,000.
So to put that in perspective, Stacey is behind by about 63,000 votes. So if you're saying 150,000 mostly African American people were disenfranchised, that is more than what she needed.
More than what she would have needed to actually win the state. Now, because of the acts that they have taken into account these past couple of months to strictly, directly prohibit African Americans specifically and people in certain groups, in certain parishes from voting, she's not conceding because she's trying to demand a recount. Because who knows what kind of trickery or tomfoolery they could have pulled.
Come on now.
Who knows what time? Because if they going through these lists leading up to the election, they're not gonna let election day just come and go, and without trying to pull some tomfoolery. So she's demanding a revote and a recount of the vote. And with that recount, it will produce an exact number, which to me didn't really make sense to me, because this also has to do with Andrew Gillum's election, which I'm gonna get to in a brief minute. statistically, the vote and those, you know, how you just quoted me. He has 60,000 more votes than she does. Those numbers, whenever they do the recount, are always wrong. Like if you were to go back and recount any state, the exact number, it may be off. It would change. If you would go back and do a hand vote or go back and do any recount, the number would change. It like 99% of cases for any state, any election. That to me, that doesn't make any sense. And it may be a minor change, maybe 10 to 20,000 votes, or 50,000, which is like a half of a percentage point. To me, it doesn't. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really mean anything. But when you have elections this close,
it means a lot.
It means a lot. It could literally mean somebody, one other person. Because right now, as of me getting these numbers in preparation for this episode, there were still a half a dozen or more Senate races that were too close to call, and then another half a dozen or more who will have to go into a runoff because of laws just like this. If you don't get a certain percentage, or if you're within a certain percentage point, you're gonna have to do a runoff. So it's like those elections. To me, I understand they want to get the results the day of election night, but I personally would
a week.
Yeah, a week later. Because if I take a test, I can expect at least the teacher's gonna need a week to grade it. I don't like, so to me that's how I would rather you get the numbers exactly right. Especially because Florida, they good for pulling some shit. They are good.
Woo! And Andrew Gillum, yes Lord, I feel like they pulled it with him too.
Andrew conceded. This one was really hard for me. This one was really hard. Oh my goodness, it was so hard. Andrew, he conceded. So Florida has a different law. Because as of today, before I took these numbers, they were both at 49%. Andrew Gillum was like at 49.03 or something like that, and his opponent was at 49.7. But they don't have the Georgia law that both parties would have to get at least 50%. Because if they had the Georgia law, then they would automatically go into a runoff. But they do have a law that states if you're within a half a percentage point, meaning if you're within 0.5, so right now his opponent is at 49.7. If Andrew Gillum had at least 49.2, which means a full 0.5 in range of him, then that would automatically trigger a revote. And if he was within a 0.25 range, which means he was at 49.5, then Andrew would have to be like at 40, whatever the number is. Y'all get the point. Then it would trigger a hand vote, which is considered to be the most accurate of all of counting the votes. But he's just outside of that by like 1 point.
So it's actually a little lower right now. So let me tell you what it is right now.
Because the numbers are changing. Because at that point,
they constantly changing.
As you go, like as the week goes on, you're gonna get a more accurate representation of the numbers.
So right now the gap is 0.62, and it just needs to be 0.5 in order for there to be a automatic recount. That's crazy. That is crazy.
And we know, and I know a couple of the stations, polling stations in Florida, they said something about they couldn't transmit the votes electronically, and they had to drive it to the headquarters, 3 hours to the headquarters, or some crazy bullshit like that. I don't know what happened in them 3 hours that y'all took it from this polling place.
Girl, then I saw. Did you see that they said that some of the absentee votes ended up getting caught up in Hurricane Michael? Did you see that?
They be pulling all types.
Girl, they is saying all kinds of stuff out there. Girl.
Florida, it's always Florida.
Yes.
Florida consistently
has
they are.
My vote done flew out the plane, honey, in Hurricane Michael, honey. My vote
we done lost 50,000 African American votes.
African American votes, bitch. They all flying out the planes, honey. Hurricane motherfucker Michael, honey, done took them out.
Lord, it's always some shit with Florida. It is always, and for once I was just like, Florida's finally gonna do right. Florida's finally gonna do right. They finally gonna get somebody who can do something. Florida's a key state as well because they are the leaders in the stand your ground law that protects white people when killing black people.
And Andrew, that was one of the platforms he ran on, was trying to get that shit up out of there.
They did have a win where they were able to restore voting rights to about 1.4 million.
Yes, that was huge. That was the only victory of the night, but that was huge.
That was the only victory for Texas. But yeah, so we'll keep y'all updated on them as we get a clearer picture. Hopefully, he can fall within that percentage, which will call for a revote. But to me, even recounting the vote, they still
don't feel like it's going. You just don't feel like it's going to change. I feel you,
because unlike I don't know what they would have to do to go. I have to look into what Florida would have to do to go to a revote or a runoff, which is what I mean. Because I don't think Florida has like a runoff scenario like Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Georgia ready, honey. Georgia got a date and everything. It's gonna be December 4th. They already know.
Exactly. They say if in the event that this happens, they have parameters. I don't think that Florida has parameters for a runoff, and even if the recount, because this goes back to the Al Gore thing and Al Gore and Bush.
Yes.
They did a revote, and they still pulled some shit with Bush's brother as the governor of Florida.
Come on now.
Florida's always in some shit, and they will pull some shit, and I believe they will pull it again if they need to. This is not new to them. They are true to this.
So there were a few victories that I did want to bring a little bit of attention to for this election. There were a lot of women. You know, I think we've said before, and it's been said out there, online and with a lot of these political analysts and things before. I don't want to give Trump too much credit in a positive light. I want to give him credit in a negative light. He has definitely awoken something in a lot of people across the country, and he has made people realize that the amount of, I don't know, for some reason it has just always felt like in your mind, as far as being president, being a part of Congress, being a lawmaker, period, that you just had to have that the requirements were much more than what they actually are. The requirements they really aren't that lengthy. They aren't that deep.
It's not as detailed.
It's not as detailed. You don't have to be as sane.
You have to be 35 with a pulse.
Come on now. Come on. With somebody that's willing to vote for you. And that's really all that it takes. Or with a country that's willing to do some illegal activity for you. That's all that it really takes. So, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib are the first Muslim women elected to Congress as a part of the House of Representatives. And to top that, Ilhan is the first Somali American elected, and Rashida Tlaib is the first Palestinian American woman ever elected to Congress. So that's a big deal. That's huge. And we talk about representation of people of color. It's all people of color. It's not just black. It's not just brown. It's whatever shade you fall in. That honey, you got a little bit in you that ain't them.
Right.
And that's it. So that's a big deal. I'm really happy to see that, because there is really a Islamophobia that is just like has captured this country. I think ever since really 9/11, that's been. I mean, it's been before that, but it really grew at that point. That's when I really saw it take off. And since then, it's steadily grown. People don't have an understanding of Islam, the Islam religion and the Islam culture. I even saw a video. I think it's from a couple of years ago. It was done maybe by the Daily Show or some show similar to that, where they did like interviews of these Trump supporters at these rallies prior to the Trump election, people all excited and all of that. And it was asked of one particular woman, she was like, she felt like it's important to respect other people's religion and their beliefs and all of that. And so the man that was interviewing her started running down religions. He was like, okay, so you respect Christianity? She's like, yes. And he was like, you respect, I think he might have said Jewism. And she was like, she hesitated for a second. And then she was like, yes. And then he said, what about Islam or Muslim or whatever? And she said, no, like quick, with the quickness. So I might put that video in here. They asked a few other questions where there were just a lot of Trump supporters that just, a lot of stupidity from Trump supporters.
It's important to believe in, to have respect for everyone's religion.
So you respect Christianity?
I do.
Judaism?
Yes.
Islam?
No.
Can a woman be president?
The presidency is a man's job.
I have women are qualified to be president.
No. A female has more hormones. She could start a war in 10 seconds. If she has hot flashes, whatever, boom.
Haven't all wars been started by men?
Yes.
Do you think a gay couple should have the same rights as a...
No, I don't. I really don't. I don't think it's fair.
To the gay couple?
Well, no, but the regular couple, they work so hard, you know, and the gay couple, they want more.
When you say more, do you mean equal?
Yeah, they want equal in that.
And that's just too much.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear president, I think of man. It's a man's job. What sort of, I may be...
Close-minded.
No, yeah, well, no.
Misogynistic?
No.
You're voting against your own interests.
That's it. Thank you very much.
These extreme nations, they don't treat women with respect.
We treat women with respect here.
Yes, we do.
That's an American ideal.
Yeah.
Tell me about your shirt. What's it say?
It says, Hillary sucks. But not like Monica.
Hilarious. So we were talking about treating women with respect.
It's an American ideal that we treat women with respect.
America is supposed to be a melting pot. That's what's supposed to be, but it's far from. So there were. Go ahead. What you going to say?
Oh no, I was just going to mention. I don't know if you going to talk about the fact that young people. This is the most historic election as far as for midterms since they've been tracking it over the last 2 or 3 decades. Young people, people between the ages of 18 and 29, I believe, showed up. It increased the turnout by like, I want to say 10 to 20%, larger than a presidential election, and this is like the largest and then it's larger than any midterms in like the last at least 30 or 40 years.
That's big.
So that was big. But the problem is, and the reason that the Democrats didn't have as much of a swing as they were hoping for, the turnout for young people was very high, very good. But elderly people above the age of 65 also turned up at the same. They matched what young people turned up at. So they also increased their turnout, I should say, their turnout as well. So it was literally like almost exact percentage. So as much young people came out and voted, that many more elderly people decided to come out and vote as well. So they offset the benefits of these young people coming out and vote. You get what I'm saying?
So you saying that you saying that, okay, so the people who...
Because the people
bigots,
over 65, over a certain age group...
The people who grew up bigot is what you're saying. The people who grew up bigot came out with the people who grew up non-bigot, and they canceled each other out. And the middle had their way. That's what you're saying. And the middle had their way. And the middle is leaning more Republican. So...
Right. And still, do want to do a couple of mentions of other statistics. Black women showed up and showed out. I think it was at 96%.
Black women consistently show up.
They voted Democrat on a 96% basis, 95 to 96%, which is the highest.
That's like girl code that you vote.
Right. That's
Democrat. It's like girl code.
African American men, we dropped to 84, 83, something like that.
And then we get mad like whenever the women are online, not us per se, but men. They got the black men. I see them get upset like when you start to give the women too many props. It's like, oh, the women showed up and showed out, and the men are like, well, what about us? Y'all dropping, nigga. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, it's the majority still, but sis, like y'all not talking to each other about going out to these fucking polls and helping each other get to the polls. Y'all are willing to lie for each other when your nigga. It's
not even the statistics I'm running is getting in the polls and then you voting Republican.
Come on, you doing the wrong thing.
That's what I'm talking about. 96%
y'all are part of this
African American women who voted.
Y'all are part of y'all are part of Blexit. Y'all done joined Blexit, bitch. But no, I was not gonna mention that. But to capitalize on what you were saying, Alexandria Cortez and Abby Fenton, I think that's how you pronounce her name. They became the youngest women elected to Congress. They're actually 29. And both of them are 29, and they became the youngest women elected to Congress. So, yeah, young people was definitely showing out because we like whoever running on the right platform, bitch, that's who getting it. Regardless of all the other shit that y'all been caring about for all these years. Whoever got it is getting it. The other two people that I wanted to mention was Deb Haaland and Sharice Davids. and they became the first Native American women elected to Congress as a part of the House of Representatives. And on top of that, Sharice is actually the first openly LGBTQ Kansan elected. She is a lesbian woman, so that's beautiful. I'm glad to see all of this.
Did you just mention Colorado as well?
No, I don't think I did. What was you about to say about Colorado?
The governor of Colorado, he is white. He was the first openly gay and married governor in the country.
Yes, bitch.
Yes, he's the first openly gay governor.
That's
but I'm not sure if
big.
he's Democrat or not, so I'm not sure how.
We're gonna hope that he's Democrat, because if he's anything else, he can.
Because when the Democrats was running down their victories, they smoothly clicked right off of him. So it's probably because he's a Republican.
That ain't good. So there was another person that I wanted to mention, Lucy McBath. I think that's how you say her name. She became a. Did I say that wrong? Hello?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce these people's names.
She became a House of Representative member for Georgia 6th Congressional District, and she is actually the mother of Jordan Davis. You may have heard of Jordan Davis back in 2012. He was the young man who was killed by a white man at a gas station where he was in a vehicle, they were playing the music loud, and the man got mad or whatever and decided to start shooting at the damn vehicle, and while it was driving off he was still shooting, and he ended up shooting the boy in the leg and the heart, he got shot multiple times and he ended up dying. I think in the lung. But yeah, this is his mother, and now she won the election to be in the House.
Oh wow.
That's big. That is huge. And this is her first political position she's held. Activism runs in her family, though. Her father owned a black newspaper company called The Black Voice. So, she's always been around activism and being proud of being who you are. So I like to see people take the situations in their life that have happened, that have impacted them negatively or, even positively and turn it into something worthwhile. So now she actually is in a position where she can try to push for gun control. She can do all of those things. One of the things she ran on was something about, I think it was called red flags, where she wants to make it illegal for people who are not even necessarily people who have just done something in their past history, make it illegal for them to be able to purchase a firearm, but also people who are prone, people who are who have shown behavior that would lead one to believe that they are incapable of being in possession of a firearm. Come on now. Right. She wants to handle that community. So I shout out to her, because that's I like to see that, and that was another positive. Even though, like I say, we weren't able to get, and you say we weren't able to get Stacey Abrams, we were able to get her. So that's a good thing. Also, there were a number of states. I don't have the list here of the states. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Michigan, Illinois, and Wisconsin, I'll mention, where we had 3 black people become lieutenant governors. So that was good too, because those are positions that normally you can go from there to next thing you're the governor. Right. So that was big. That was big.
Yeah, so all in all, the election, we had definitely some wins, some big wins on the Democratic side. We did have some unfortunate losses, especially in the Senate and in some of the governor's races. But this is still momentum that we need to carry and implement. Now that we have any little bit of power, we need to use that to cripple the tactics by the executive branch, and as well as be a proper check, and then go into this with the 2020 election with some momentum.
Yes. All right. So you throwing it back to me?
Yes.
Okay. So while we were gone, like I said at the beginning of the episode, it looked like Cardi B and Miss Nicki might have formed a little truce here. There was a lot that was going on. Were you keeping up with much of this? I know you've been vacationing.
As soon as I got to Thailand, they started cutting up.
Yes, bitch. Yeah, God. They did. Was cutting the fuck up. So I'm not gonna run down the entire history of this thing. It's just a few things because I mean girl, I got you. I'm gonna give you the cliff because I know you don't want it all.
This episode is already long.
It is very lengthy. So, what I will say is that Cardi B, her sister Hennessy, really kind of this new wave. I feel like she kind of was like a catalyst for this starting because she got online and she accused Nicki Minaj of a lot of things. One being leaking Cardi B's phone number to the Barbs that led to like her getting all of these horrible messages from Barbs. I mean, they were just terrible. They were like stuff about her daughter and people they were threatening her life, threatening her daughter's life. I don't even that is mental health. I feel like when I think about that, I think about the word "stan," and I actually got reminded. I was looking into some article this week, and I got reminded of where that word "stan" came from. It actually came from a song that Eminem had back in 2000. I think it was called "Stan." And he was talking about deranged fans. It was not a positive term. And from there, some way, somehow, stan has become like the word that people use, or that even I have used, that refers to a person who, like, that is just your top notch. But, bitch, I might have to, especially looking at the things that these Barbs have done, looking at the things that a lot of these fan bases really have done over the span of time, it's not really a positive thing to be a stan of somebody. I'm not so sure if I want to use that word to refer to myself anymore. I might have to demote myself back down to a regular fan. But these are like super Barb members. And it's like, whenever you at the point, let me just say this. Hennessy decided to post these messages online. She referred to Nicki Minaj as a crackhead. She did that on the Shade Room and in comments and this and that. The right thing to do would have been to report these messages, to let the FBI or whoever is going to handle it, and to really put these people in a position where you getting reached out to from the fucking FBI over something that you text somebody. Because I think that's how you check people. Because these
is it illegal to send somebody?
I feel like it should be, but I'm gonna mention something about Don Lemon a little later, and I'm gonna say that it's funny how these things work. But definitely they should have been forwarded to the FBI. I feel whether or not the FBI was gonna do anything with them or what, they should have been forwarded there because these people need to be put on blast. Something needs to happen for these folk that feel like they are comfortable enough to send messages like this under disguises, to send you stuff like, because you talking about killing babies and slitting throats and all that. Like this is too much. It's not worth it. Nothing Nicki has said, nothing Cardi has said, it does not make sense. And I don't like the fact that Nicki plays into her fans doing the things that they do. And even when she got on Queen Radio, she said, Cardi, you want me to control my fans, but you can't control your sister. I don't think that's a valid excuse for the text messages. I mean, that's not a comeback for the messages that Cardi B received threatening the life of her child. That's just not. We see right now, even with Trump, what hateful rhetoric can lead to. There are deranged people out here who will take the hateful rhetoric that you give and take it to the next level, and will actually try to act on it and send bombs to people. So this is not. It's really not something to be taken lightly. And honestly, I feel like this is probably the knowledge of that is probably, I feel, one of the things that led Nicki to put out that message about a truce, because I don't think that Nicki is that person. I really don't. She's done a lot of things and said a lot of things, but when you talk about, when you see a message from somebody who claims to be a fan of you online, threatening the life of somebody's child, I don't think that you're going to be okay with that. Right. I really don't. So, anyway, after Hennessy put the messages out there, Rob motherfucking Ali, bitch, commented under one of those posts that Hennessy put up on her Instagram, and she said, "Keep playing with me, you dumb bitch, and I'ma rag you like I did your sister." Woo! Now y'all know, if y'all follow this page, y'all know from the beginning of time I've been saying that I feel like Ra Ali and her shoulders were responsible for that eye, for Cardi being that eye. I did, and Cardi is saying that it ain't true, but Nicki got on Queen Radio and she said that yes, Ra Ali did grab you by the head and knock you in it about 8 to 10 times. She said, once Ra let you go, I saw the knot. And I was mad when the knot was there. And I saw, because I knew that instantly they was going to come for the one with money. because you did that.
And she with you, and she
And
on
it's
Nicki
not-
Minaj's guest list.
Yes, and it's not you. You're not the one with money. So,
you know what? I actually believe this. You know, and the reason I believe this is because the only videos that we saw, Nicki Minaj is already behind
wait,
security.
you believe what?
I believe that something happened and possibly Riley put hands on Cardi B prior to the video footage that we saw. Because from the video footage that we saw is basically like the end of the fight. By that time, Nicki Minaj and Riley had already been secured. They were, protected by 10 bodyguard or more, and Cardi B was still trying to. It didn't strike me as the beginning because Nicki Minaj was nowhere in the video. Like she was already like, if it was the beginning, she had to have already known that Cardi B was coming.
Yes.
To attack, because otherwise they was already in like a formation to protect Nicki Minaj. Like she was literally up in the corner with the bodyguards surrounding her. So clearly something happened before that for them to get her in the corner. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because it's a party where she's going to be walking around or something like that. So I feel like it's a situation that's happened similar to the Met Gala when we saw them pictured together. They went off somewhere to some corner to have some type of talk or discussion. And then Cardi B wasn't about to talk no more. And then at some point, her and Riley probably got into it. Or Riley felt Cardi B was about to attack Nicki Minaj, or something like that to the effect happened. And then by the time that Riley and Nicki Minaj were secured to the corner, that's when people got wind of what's going on and pulled out their phones.
Yes.
That's what I really feel like happened.
Now, what I will say is Nicki did confuse me a couple of times in Queen Radio. Because at one point, Sis was saying that she had the footage on her phone, but she's not going to release it. And then at another point, she was saying, I will pay $100,000 for whoever can get the security footage for the venue. So I'm like,
When I heard that, I felt like she was saying somebody sent her, or I didn't feel like she recorded it herself. That's when she first said the first part. But it still don't make sense. Either somebody sent you the footage or
you need it. Yeah, you either got it or you need it, and you can't. You can't have both. Because from what I thought I understood from what she was saying was that she was trying to, or her cameraman was trying to record it, and like Cardi was trying to grab it from her cameraman, the recording or whatever. But that she had the footage, but that she's not gonna release it. Nicki, I don't know if that was a pill and potions moment. That possibly could have been. I don't know. But do you think that this is a true truth? That's what I was about to ask you. Is this a true truth?
Hopefully this is the last time. I honestly feel like they have benefited monetarily as much as they are going to benefit.
That there's no more left.
There's nothing left that's going to be new and exciting about this beef. So they have now decided to rest the beef. And I'm going to be resting both of them, hopefully, for the next at least 6 months, because I'm tired of talking about both of them.
I am too. Did you? I know you got a chance to hear Cardi's song "Money" because we talked about the cover on the last episode.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I like Money. I mean, Cardi B's, her writers, they know how to write.
Because this is her first single post her studio album.
So is she doing a new album too?
When I looked the song up, I did not see that. All I saw was that it was the first single post Invasion of Privacy. So I don't know if this is gonna lead into another album or is this what I would say is that the song was very aggressive and I felt like it fit the times. I feel like it fits the image that Cardi B has right now and it really worked in the moment. And from my understanding, I think the song might be like number 13 on the charts or something right now. I think it'll do fine. But I don't think that this beef thing is still gonna fare out well for another project. I just don't. I think that this needs to definitely be the end.
Well, to me, Nicki Minaj has a reputation of surviving beefs. I feel like next album for Nicki Minaj is gonna be some new rap bitch that they're gonna be putting up against her. Cardi B, we'll see how she does post rap beef. I don't know.
We're gonna see. It's gonna be interesting to see where Cardi goes from here.
Because Nicki been beefing with the girls since the day she spit her first ball.
Yes, God, she surely has. Let me mention one other thing about this little beef, and then I'm gonna let it go. Little Mix. I don't know these girls. I don't plan on knowing them. They have a song out right now called "Woman" or "Women Like Me" or something like that. Featuring Nicki Minaj. It's okay. It's not my, you know, my thing is,
It's not for us.
My
It's not
thing is
a
one
demographic.
thing. Their thing is something else. You know, I can't really connect with it like talking about. But Cardi B, in her, you know, she did a series of Instagram videos in response to Nicki Minaj's Queen Radio. Hell, she heard Queen Radio before me. I'm like, Cardi, are you like literally tuning in for Queen Radio weekly? Because you're responding like instantly. So what's like, are you that free? You shouldn't be, but okay.
She made time.
I guess when you're not writing songs, you have time. But anyway,
Lord.
She, in one of her responses on Instagram, she said that Little Mix, before Nicki Minaj did that song with Little Mix, that they actually sent the song to her for her to do a verse on, and that she ended up turning it down. And as proof of that, she played the version of the song without Nicki Minaj that had like the free space that was meant for her to put her verse. And after she did that, Little Mix responded and was like, nah, sis, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but we actually sent that song to Nicki. We've been trying to work to her for years. We sent it to her first. And this and that. Okay, so let me say this. You have a right to respond, I guess, when somebody pulls you into something that had nothing to do with you, because that's kind of what Cardi B did by mentioning y'all. It's kind of drag you into a beef that really don't got nothing to do with you. So you got a right to respond. But I don't understand the response you gave, because you're trying to basically take Nicki's side and say, you know, nah, we sent it out to Nicki first, because it was messily done. You know, you have to see the way that they did it. It wasn't like we're just trying to present facts. It's like, nah, boo boo. It's like that. It's like y'all came at her like, you know, nah, you ain't finna mess this up because we need Nicki right now. That's what it sounded like to me. I don't understand. If you sent it to Nicki first, did you not wait to see if Nicki agreed to it before you sent it to Cardi B? Because you obviously sent it to Cardi B. You did not deny that. But I don't understand the timing, because you either have to get a decline from one and then send it to the other, or are you sending it to everybody at the same time and then you're going to be the one to decline? I don't see that working though. I don't see you reaching out to Cardi and saying, "Oh, Nicki decided to do it, so we don't need you." I don't see that. I don't believe that.
Sometimes I do know this. Sometimes you reach out to people and then you don't hear anything back. So what I feel like they probably did is, when I heard this, I felt like they reached out to Nicki. They didn't get an immediate response.
So then they reached out to Cardi.
And then they finally got a response back from Nicki.
Pause.
That's what.
Pause. But my thing is, the way that you presented the information was as if we reached out to Nicki first, and then that's just it. Like, we reached out to Nicki first, we wanted her. Sis, you wanted Cardi too. You wanted who was gonna make it hot.
They did.
And you knew that. What I will say is that Lil Mix has been reaching out to Nicki for years, I am aware of that. I want to say that I'm aware of that. They've always wanted Nicki and haven't been able to get her. But don't try to slight Cardi
as if you didn't.
You did not want her, because Cardi is the hottest right now. Period. Nicki is still hot, yes, but Cardi is hotter. And that is evident by album sales. You can say what you want, but I'm talking about revenue. Say what you want. But right now, Cardi is that chick this year, 2018. Cardi is that chick that everybody wants on a record. And that's just point blank in the period. Whether you've wanted Nicki all your career or not. You tried to slight, and I'm not a fan of neither, as y'all know. But I'm just saying, I don't understand, like, you really don't have nothing to stand on. You don't, because you telling me you reached out to Nicki first, but you're not. They even showed like a message showing that they reached out to Nicki first, or that they showed the date that they reached out to Nicki, but they did not show the date that you reached out to Cardi. So I don't even know. I don't know when you reached out to Cardi. You wanted both of them, and that's just it. Don't try to act like you wanted one more or whatever. You wanted both, because you wanted whoever was gonna make it a hit.
I believe them. I believe they wanted Nicki Minaj more, but I do also feel like they would have been happy if Cardi B did the verse as well. That's what I do feel like.
The message did not read that way though. The message read like you took a side at that point. And we're you know what? I'm gonna follow that song on the charts, and I'm gonna see if the side y'all took fared out. Because what I do know is that right now, the song that Maroon 5 has with Cardi B is still number one. That's what I do know. Ask me where
it's still number
it's
one.
still it's literally still number one. Ask me where Fifi is. Where are Nicki's features these days? I'm just saying. You trying to slight Cardi since y'all might not have slighted the right one for your career path. I'm just saying.
It'll be like the equivalent would be if like Nicki Minaj did like a Fifth Harmony, and then because Maroon 5 is always they do well on the charts. Period. So that's not really a good comparison to me.
I mean, I don't feel like that. The Rainbow Hair Boy, whatever. I don't feel like he is any less comparable to Lil Mix. I don't feel like he's just some chart success.
Oh no, I'm talking about Maroon 5. I'm talking about Maroon 5.
Okay. You talking about okay. You saying Maroon 5 be doing well, so.
Period by themselves, so they don't even have Cardi. Like they like Little Mix. Have they even topped the top 20 period in their life? So
what other?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Don't make me do no research into Nicki features, because Nicki done did more than that. Now don't make me look.
No, I'm just talking about that was two.
Okay.
You put that's all I'm saying. It'll be equivalent of somebody who's already like if Cardi B is somebody. Cardi B is doing a song with a group that's already getting #1 singles. They didn't need her to do that.
So my only point is that for their career, I don't think that was a wise decision. That's my only point.
Yeah, I agree. If they wanted to do better on the charts,
like when Andy said to Mariah about Ariana, and she said, "I don't know what early in the career is, child. I don't know what early in the career is for y'all. Y'all are too new to be making decisions like that and trying to come out and shade and diss and take sides. Because Nicki even coming under a bunch of laughing emojis like, ha ha, like, oh yeah, y'all got him, sis. No, you didn't. You might have got. Depending on what his song chart. We gonna see. All right, so that was it for this week, really. I guess we can briefly mention Real Housewives of Atlanta.
We can.
It started bad. You say we can't?
It did. That's all we.
Well, I mean, it's here. It's back. Okay. So, you ain't gonna mention nothing. I'm gonna say something. Portia done got her man that done turned a hot dog into a coin dog. Yes, God. The jury's out on him. We're gonna see what T Candy claimed to have. Cause seem like
she's still in that boutique.
You know what, Nene? You done took this boutique from Instagram to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Are you your clothes, Nene? Is that you now? Is that all I'm gonna get from you? Is tags? Cause Lord, I can't get no jokes from you online. I can't get none from you on TV. You just all you doing is promoting, and it's like, sis, I understand you're trying to make money, and sis, but girl, damn, I'm so tired of tags.
Real Housewives, it needs to impress. Who did impress? Married to Medicine.
Woo! Okay, so let me just run through a couple of more things real quick on Real Housewives before you jump over. I did take this note. I don't know if this is really Nene or production, but what I did say was that I don't want to see Greg's health exploited for ratings. No, bitch, I didn't say that. I don't want to see his health exploited for ratings. I don't want every time you need a boost, you have him coming out acting like he's sick or can't walk. I don't, because if
he is sick,
he's in remission from what they saying. So, and that's not to say that you're not gonna be weak. I'm not acting like you ain't done went through all you done went through and you're not gonna be weak. My thing is that I just don't want to see, and the scene that they showed us on the first episode was touching. I will say that whole story he told about the note he gave the nurses to give the Nene, that was all sweet and fine, and I was a little sad and all of this. But what I'm saying is when I was looking at the preview and I was seeing stuff, it just looked like they were just trying to. I don't like the way that editing does things. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that it's Nene. I'm just saying that, period, I don't want to see his health exploited as a ratings boost. If he has something going on for real, let it be for real. Let me tell you what I mean. Speaking of Married to Medicine, Mariah and Aiden. Aiden has some situation where somebody has came in to his to the hospital or whatever that he work at, and they have purchased it out, and now he told Mariah that they had like a decision to either stay or that they could leave and go somewhere else. When he told it to Mariah, the way that Mariah repeated it was like basically they had to move. That they did not have a decision to stay. That's the way that Mariah presented it. She was like, well, do you even have a job and this and that? She was acting like they do not have the option to stay. And Aiden made it clear that they can stay. They don't have to leave. So they are making that a bigger deal than what it actually is. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see his health exploited. If he's going through, and if you're telling the truth about cancer, and if you're really showing how cancer takes a toll on a person and how it takes a toll on the family, that's fine. But I don't want to see it become a ratings thing. I don't want to see it become this is Nene's storyline. I don't want to see that. That's just what I'm saying.
I feel like it is going to be her storyline only because I follow Nene's Instagram, my personal Instagram, and she goes live all the time. And for the past few months, she's gone live pretty much when because Greg has had further complications posted, because the scene that we saw last night was early on, like almost immediately after he had the initial surgery. But he's had complications since, and they've been at the hospital in and out. Like, she's been on live with him, asking for prayers, stuff like that, on her personal page. She hasn't posted it as him as much as she's going live about him. So, and I've seen at least 6 or 7 lives, and her and Marlo and Cynthia, in the whole hospital with no makeup on. The camera's not even in there, and they talking to Greg and doing stuff like that. So I feel like his health is actually in a poor state, and it also happens that that's pretty much all she's doing right now as well. So I don't feel like it's going to be exploited for that. It just happens to happen. She happens to get paid for her life, and this is the moment in her life right now.
I'm a bit more skeptical of these shows than you are, especially Housewives, because you always try to get me for calling fake what it is. And so I just don't want to see that happen. I'm okay with seeing the reality of what Greg is going through. I just don't want to see it exploited or it become, because this is this man. That the whole point of me even mentioning this is that this is this man's life and this is his reality. So I don't want to see anybody use that reality, in order to pull or try to draw people in or to make something seem like if you finna dun 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 dun, like Greg almost fell and he really didn't almost, it's stuff like that. It's not. I don't want to see y'all just try to overblow it or make this a reason for you to tune in. See what happened to Greg. Right. Did he fall? Did he not fall? Did he do this? Did he take his meds? Did he not take his? I don't want to see that. This is what people actually go through in everyday life. I just don't want to see that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Nene ain't there for him. I know she is. I ain't saying the other housewives don't care. I know they do. I just don't want to see, especially production. That's why I started this with it. This ain't really directed at Nene. I don't want to see production try to make this more than what it is, because that ain't even to say.
I see what you're saying.
Right, that ain't even to say that Mariah, that whole thing that went down with her and Aiden, it might not even film the way they might not have filmed it the way that we saw it. Production might have twisted it to sound like that. I just don't want to see that happen, because I don't. That leads me to not want to watch shows. And then the show is already, like we saying, dry as fuck already. So you definitely don't need to be doing no fake shit, because that's gonna turn me off. So.
I understand.
All right, so Kenya, I do want to mention Kenya gave birth, not on the show, but actually in real life, this past Sunday. She had a little girl, Brooklyn Doris Daly. That's cute or whatever. And she named the little girl Brooklyn because that is where she met and fell in love with Mark Daly. And
I've always loved the name Brooklyn.
That is a beautiful name. And her grandmother's name is Doris, so that's why she is Brooklyn Doris Daly. So that is beautiful. I also saw, according to Nene, Portia was hospitalized as well. I don't know if she's still in the hospital or not, but it was sounding like she's getting ready to give birth soon. So, yeah, we'll be.
She can't be. She only 5 months.
Oh, that's it. Oh, well, child.
Yeah,
from the post I saw with Nene, it sounded like sis was getting ready to give birth. So I don't know. Let's keep her in a prayer then, since she did early, honey. That ain't cute. So
yeah, it sounded like complications.
Yeah, that sounded like complications. So yeah, let's keep her there. What else? Cynthia and Mike got a long distance relationship. Womp womp. Bravo was a little messy with their editing with Eva and her photo shoot, where they flashed back to Cynthia with them grandma shoes on.
Like she
never been a model before in her life. They tried it. I'm like, now y'all been exploiting Cynthia as the model of the show. And now you get somebody who you figure is a bigger bill of a model, and now you're trying to put Cynthia down like she's just some bro-tied model. I didn't like that. I was like, y'all was petty for that.
They removed her super. They just left her as model.
They were trying to make her Miss Model, honey.
But Eva played into that when she said, "What's the difference between me and Cynthia?"
About 20 years. And then when she said hashtag, she still got it. Let me tell you, Eva did play into it. Matter of fact, that was something that she was questioned about. I think, the Housewives got like a little blog or whatever that they respond to and stuff and talking in during the season. And that was one of the things that she was asked about. I didn't go see what she said, but I know that she was asked about that. And I'm like, okay, so other people saw what I saw about that scene, how shady it was. Let me see. Portia was gathering the girls to support Nene at one of her comedy gigs. I guess she's still out here trying to be a comedian. Escape got the little ASCAP Golden Note Award. That was cute or whatever. Done One is a babysitter now. I see. It's a new role for him.